All right, everybody, we should be live. We're on a Supercell near Thomas, Oklahoma. Today has potential, big-time potential. We got a Supercell right here. I'm just north of I-40, just to the northeast of Weatherford, near a town called Thomas, Oklahoma. And we just got onto the storm. This storm formed. There wasn't even a storm about 20 minutes ago. So we didn't even have a storm 20 minutes ago. We didn't have a storm 20 minutes ago, and now we got this kind of Supercell, and I'm just going to warn you guys right now. My internet in this area might not be too hot, so if I do end up losing some internet here at some point, it's just a part of what's going to happen here, so but we'll try to work through it the best we can. We'll work through it as well as we can, but you know, it's probably pretty likely that in this area, it's pretty rural out here, I'm probably going to lose some service. And I've been kind of eyeballing today's chase for a couple of days now, and I wasn't really sure what the threat level would be, and I'm still not really sure if this storm is going to survive. If this storm does, you know, survive, then it's got a pretty good shot at producing, yeah, if the storm does survive, it's got a good shot at producing tornadoes, so. And we'll just have to, like I said, we'll just have to see. It might need help. Like, you know, it might need a merger or a kind of a second storm to kind of bump it. It might need some help, and I don't know if it's going to quite get any help, but that's my one thing, is like the storm might just be too skinny, so it might never get its act together because it won't get some help, but we'll see. I'm charging up the camera batteries just in case this thing ends up going bonkers. And oh, there's already dust under it. Hold on. I think there's already a tornado under there. Look at that. I think that might be a tornado. It could be a gustnado. It might be a gustnado, though. Yeah, it's probably a gustnado, but look at that. That's rotating. I mean, that's spinning right there. That is spinning. Hold on, let me. No, that's not a tornado. For it to be a tornado, I think it'd have to be spinning a little bit harder there, but yeah, probably not. But there's some rotation above it. If someone confirms rotation above it, then it could be. I'm not sure, but there's definitely a lot of dust getting kicked up right there. Well, that's right where the rotation kind of, well, Well, I actually think the rotation might be a little bit to the left, but I can't see if there's a funnel. I can't see if there's a funnel above the dust. I don't think so. I want to try and get closer, guys, and get right up on this thing, but the problem is, if I might try to get closer on this thing and lose service. That's the issue. There's that dust. You can see that dust. You can see that dust right there. If you're just joining the stream, make sure to like the stream. I really appreciate it, guys. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're just in here. And this storm might become a big problem soon. I don't know if it's gonna live or not. Kind of right now, it's hard to say. I think it's gonna live. I think it's gonna at least, I don't know if it'll ever go bonkers, but the echo tops are going down, so it might die. This storm might be dying. The echo tops are going down, so we'll see if it lives or not. But there goes that dust. But we'll get, wow, just incredible right there. Oh, is that a tornado back there? I think it is. I think something was trying to come down. Yeah, tornado. Tornado on the ground. I believe, maybe. It looked like it to me, guys. I don't take my word 100%, but it sure looked like there was something on the ground there. This road doesn't take me far, does it? So I might lose service here. So it looked like we had a brief. Yeah, there's something on the ground, I think. Yeah, that looks like a tornado to me. Way back there. It looked like a brief little tornado came down back behind this all. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to, you know what, I'm gonna have to go further east, aren't I? Or west in a second. We're gonna get right up on this thing. I believe we might have just had it. I'm gonna have to check with someone to confirm. All right. I swear there is something that just popped down out of there. I swear. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty confident that something just tried to touch. At this next road we'll go west here, and hopefully I stay connected to the internet, but we'll see. If this thing lives, like I said, I don't know if this storm even lives, but if this storm lives, man, it's gonna in this thing, and it's definitely got in this thing, and it's definitely got a good environment and whatnot. So I don't know if we had a tornado or not. I really am not sure. But then, like, I think I know what I saw. Turn right here. Goodness, that's an awesome storm. It's getting some rotation on it. There's Stephen Jones. That's a guy you'd probably want to be next to. That guy right there. He'll get some good tornadoes. Man, this storm's got a ways to go, but we'll see. So far, it's very low precipitation. So far, it's very low precipitation right now. So if we do get any tornadoes, they're going to be visible, and they're not in a very populated area, at least for the time being. And so we'll see, guys. There's rotation happening right now. Inflow coming in. There's rotation happening. I cannot trying to plug my phone in and I keep messing with it. All right, there we go. Sorry about the cracks in the windows, guys, and whatnot. You know what? I should probably clean off the inside of my windows quick. I was in a hurry, so I didn't get all this stuff done that I probably should have done before. But we're watching that base, right? Literally right in front of us is where it would where it would drop if it did. So we're watching that base here. We already got new bugs on the windows, man. Like, those got cleaned just a minute ago. We already got bugs. Okay, it's really rotating a little bit now. Okay. All right, guys. All right, chat. I think we're about to cook. Chat, I think we're gonna cook. I actually think we're about to cook. I'm not even kidding. But let me get on this thing here, and this will be a really fun storm to chase because it's very slow. It'll be very slow moving, and it's low precipitation. So, one of the biggest things that will stress you out if you're storm chasing is if a storm is moving quick and you got to constantly try to keep up with it road network wise and everything. And so I don't think we had a tornado. I don't know. I swear. I'll have to go back and look, but I hope if I was seeing what I thought I was seeing, I hope someone got a video of it or something. And one of two tornadoes. Okay. Someone said we already had 2 tornadoes on this storm, and I don't know how much. I don't know, guys. But someone said there's already been 2 tornadoes on the storm, and it might have been that little one that we pointed the camera in on. No, there's definitely some rain on this Supercell, but it's far away from the base. It's over to the other side. But someone said 2 tornadoes already. We very well might have had we very well might have had a tornado if I was not tripping. All right, this thing is really picking up its rotation here. Okay, this thing is really picking it up. We could get another tornado soon. Here, guys, we could get another one. Wrapping up in there, guys. It's really wrapping up in there. Oh wow, clear slot cutting around. Okay. Clear slot wrapping around there, and we'll see if it. Wow, this thing is gearing up now, isn't it? Okay, I still think it needs a few more minutes. It still needs some time, but it's wrapping up now, and we'll see if it does anything. We'll see if it does anything cool for us here, and we're right on it, guys. We're gonna have a good view of it the whole time, as long as I don't, fingers crossed, we don't lose a bunch of lose service and get in a bunch of bad service zones here. Because if we don't, then we'll have a great view of this thing the whole time. Need to get my camera all charged up here. Look at this hook, guys. Look at this hook on radar. See this hook? See the little hook shape? That's rotation on the, and you can see the reds and the green. When the reds and the greens start to touch, or they get brighter and they get tighter, that means the rotation is picking up. I still want to make sure this thing lives. I'm still not 100% sure, but as of right now, it looks like it might live. It might just be LP. Okay, the tops are shooting back up again. So if you look at echo tops, the brighter the colors here, the brighter the colors, the taller the storm is. And you want your storm to be tall. because a taller storm means a stronger storm. And you can see, look at this. This was at 5. This was just over an hour ago. We didn't even have a storm, and look at it blow up. Look at those echo tops. Boom, boom. And then they kind of went up, kind of went back down, and then look at the next scan. Boom, boom. So they're kind of going up and down. So we'll see. We'll see what this... I think it's going to need like a merger or maybe something like that, but I'll have to see what it does. I might have to reposition south in just a second here. I might have to reposition just to the south. The rotation's very close to me now. Warm for about 30-45 minutes, so we got to give it a little bit more time. That is the craziest shear funnel I think I might have ever seen back there. Look at that shear funnel. It's like sideways. See it? See that shear funnel back there? Right there? That like sideways thing, that's a shear funnel. I'm all the way zoomed out, guys. My zoom is at 0.5 right now. I'm all the way zoomed out. And this is how close we are to the storm right now. I see there's a lot of movement, a lot of turbulence up there. A lot of turbulence up there, so. Okay, the storm is definitely going through a cycle. Storm is cycling right now, so we're gonna stay right under this thing. If it produces any tornadoes, we're gonna try to get... I think we'll have... This is the kind of day where it's not gonna be hard to get close to a tornado. If you really wanted to be close to one, you'd be able to do it. So that's what we're gonna go for today. Lots of turbulent skies right in front of me here. We're so for the time being, so it's a little bit disorganized right now. But it's still overall like the storm looks good overall, so. Looks very healthy overall. Okay, other chasers are saying that they had brief tornadoes on this. Other chasers are saying they had a brief tornado on it. So that's multiple other... I thought I saw one. I just was a little bit too far to really, for sure, know. Imagine that's the only tornadoes this storm does. It just does it right off the bat and then never again. That'd be weird. Because usually that's how it goes. Usually the storm will kind of build up to it and strengthen, but we're right under the storm, so it does not look as cool right now because we're right under this sucker. So right under this guy. Still got the rotation's gotten a little bit more broad here, so but we still have a rotating supercell here, so we just gotta keep watching it. That rotation is actually probably right in front of me. Yeah, it'd be right there. right in front of us. And it needs to tighten up. Like I said, I think this thing needs it might never get a merger. It might never get a merger, and I think that's probably what it really needs. If it really wants to go, here, probably needs a little bit of a merger or something like that. And if you guys don't know, a merger is just when another storm kind of bumps in or kind of collides and becomes one with a different storm. Usually a bigger storm and just a smaller storm is usually what happens. A bigger storm will ingest a smaller one, and that's what we call a merger. Yeah, this thing went boom. Okay, this thing did go boom. And we'll see. I'd love for it to just produce a tornado right on top of me. I do wonder what it looks like from afar, because we did have that view from afar. Also wonder what it looks. This storm probably looks pretty cool from the back, I would assume. I wonder if it's trying to form a new mezocyclone to my east. It might be trying to form a new meso. I think it is. This is what it looks like to me. Yeah, it might be. Had the old meso there. As long as our echo tops are staying high, I think we'll be okay. And those echo tops, that's how tall the storm is. Yeah, it's probably forming a new meso, isn't it? Okay, let's turn the car around just a little bit. There's not a lot of chasers out here. I've seen like 4 chasers so far. I'm sure there's obviously more than just 4, but that's all I've seen. And usually in Oklahoma, by this time, you'd see, you'd see like 400 chasers, not just 4. Okay, yeah, the new meso's to my east. I just realized that. New meso here is to my east. Wow, okay. It's gearing up again, isn't it? Gotcha. Okay, here we go. Right on this thing. We're right on this sucker. There it is. There's the new meso right there. I'm not gonna block the. I'm gonna block the road here, but there's literally no cars out here. So there's our meso. Mezocyclone. Meso, short for mezocyclone. That's what rotates above the storm. We lost tops again, so we keep kind of getting tops back, and then we'll lose them, and then hopefully it's not done. Hopefully we just don't lose them for good. Which I'm worried about. I'm very worried about the storm just not living. I've said that probably a dozen times, but as far as like tornadoes go, it's gonna go right over the canyon, isn't it? It's gonna go right over the canyon, isn't it? Okay. Okay, rotation's picking up again now. It needs to keep growing just a little bit more, but rotation's picking up. I'm hoping I don't get any like rogue softballs on the surface here. So. Hopefully I have service, everyone. I'm not gonna be able to look too much at chat today. If I'm focused, I'm locked in on the chase, obviously. So, but I'll try to peek at it. I'll try to peek at chat here and there, and if I can, but probably mostly just after the chase I'll be there. It's picking up velocity again. I saw that. Yeah, I saw it's picking up velocity again. Hopefully I can hold connection here, guys. It is picking up velocity here. It's picking up that max velocity. That's what it's picking up. So to be determined what this storm really does. But I do like that it is picking up that velocity, like you guys mentioned in the chat there. And man, if this thing did drop a tornado, it'd be like a pretty cool one. It'd be a pretty cool tornado if it did drop. But right now I don't see it quite doing it right this second. But it, I can actually really see that rotation starting to pick up there on the backside. It's a really small storm, and I don't know if that's going to be good or bad for this one. And we'll see. Like I said, I'm still iffy on if this thing even lives or not. I'm going to look at something else right now to see if I can get a better... Wow, that's rotating now, huh? Okay, we're going to have to get on this close here in just a second here. Wow, that thing is ripping now. Okay, this storm is definitely strengthening rotation-wise. Yeah, I think this thing is going to live. I really do. I think it probably will. All right, let's go. We got hail falling too, and it's ripping now. All right, guys, there's no tornado right now, but if there's a tornado, I'll make sure to get you guys a view here. Now just a little bit in front of it. We'll have a rainbow tornado maybe. Look, we got some sun here on the backside of this storm. Hopefully I stay connected. I'm going to be going through some tough service spots. Just a heads up, guys, if I lose my connection, I will get back as soon as I possibly can, but there's not a ton I can do about it. So, but we'll try to keep our connection if we can. Wow, this thing looks sick. It's a small storm. It really is not a big storm. So if it produces a tornado, it'll be very visible, very photogenic tornado if it does produce one. Or actually, you know what? It's already produced two very brief. I believe so. I'm not 100%, but I'm about 90% sure that it produced two brief, at least one brief tornado. At least one. It was kind of up and down. It's 1 and 2. It's gonna try. Hold on. When it really tightens up and tries to produce a tornado, I'll get right up on it. There's other convection kind of going up around us. I can see some cumulus starting to build into the distance to the southwest. So that's a good sign. That means that our forcing is still arriving. Okay, you know what? I'm going to show you guys this through the car. So let me find the next road up. And yeah, let me... It is a little rain wrapped here. Another storm. I mean, not rain wrapped. Sorry. Our storm is not rain wrapped, but there is a little bit of rain wrapping on this backside here. But all right, up at this tree line, guys. Let me get up onto this tree line here, and then we'll. Yeah, the rotation is tightening up in there. It is tightening up. Hopefully by the time that I'm dumb and I forgot to charge my camera, but hopefully by the time we get tornado genesis again, if that does happen, I guess you never know, it may or may not happen, but I'd say there's a decent shot at it. Pretty good shot probably, but if we get tornado genesis again, hopefully I have my camera all charged up and ready to go here. And I'm going to turn onto this road and we're going to get a shot of this thing. I like to chase these storms from the backside. I just had it. think I have service again, so. Oh, this is where I started the chase, right here at this church, or yeah, church right here. I started the chase right here at this little church. Turn right here. We're looking at it right now. There's the rotation up in there, right in front of us. There's the Supercell. Like I said, LP. Very low precipitation here. So if it does produce another tornado, it'll be a good one. But it needs to tighten up again. It needs to tighten up a little bit more. It's kind of headed down towards it's kind of headed down towards Hinton, Bridgeport. It might slide just to the west of Bridgeport. Actually, I think this is probably going to take more of a southerly turn. So if I had to guess, it probably even will slide west of Hinton as well. Eakley, Binger, Carnegie, Anadarko. That's eventually. I don't know. We'll see if it even makes the storm, if it makes it that far. But right now, it's kind of struggling. It's really kind of struggling to strengthen. It kind of got really strong, and then it kind of has, now plateaued. But oh, what's up, everybody? Looks like maybe we got raided or something. I'm not sure, but if you're just tuning in here, we're just north of I-40, just to the northeast of Weatherford, Oklahoma. Kind of close to Thomas, Oklahoma, near I-40. And we have a storm here that I'm pretty sure produced a couple of very brief, weak tornadoes earlier, and we'll see if it has the we'll see if it has it in it to do it again. But right now it looks pretty solid. I've seen better, I've seen worse. There is a lot of rising motion. My service might be in and out here, so make sure to like the stream, guys. Let's get this thing up to 500 likes, okay? Make sure to smash that like button for me. I appreciate it a lot. Still having internet issues at home, so I don't have the fancy overlays and everything, unfortunately. So it is rotating in there, so we're about to get hit with some rain here. We might want to move just slightly east or south here. We get hit with this rain on the back side. There we go. We got some chasers right up here as well. But we're all over this storm here. And if it produces something, we'll be right here for it. We will be right here for it if it does something. Earlier, it had some great structure. I don't know if it still has that really good structure or not. I've kind of been on this backside of it. There's all the local forewarn storm tracker. I don't know if Channel News 9 is out here, but I don't know if the News 9 truck's going to be cutting people off today or slowly trying to get its act together. It's definitely kind of picked up velocities in the last couple of minutes here, so it's going to go into some messier terrain, which probably means messier service. There's a river right here and kind of like a canyon. Well, it might slide just to the west of the river. We might get lucky. Might slide to the west of the river there, and we might get it on the... I just keep going in and out here service-wise. Just can't keep it, huh? Guys, I don't know why I'm in the same spot and my service keeps going in. It'll go out again. So I'm trying to keep my service, but we'll see. The rotations kind of, the velocities you can see right here, look at those reds and those greens. It's kind of picked up again just a little bit. It's odd. So right now the storm is deviating a little bit more south too. And it seems like it almost wants to do that. It wants to kind of try and deviate a little bit south. I'm gonna move angles here just slightly. Hopefully I don't lose service as I move 10 feet. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that Supercell right there here. Just near Thomas, Oklahoma. This thing's barely moved in the last hour or so. We got a rainbow now developing too. That'd be quite the treat. A rainbow tornado, you know, those aren't too common because to see one you got to be on the right part of the storm and everything. So maybe we'll get one of those today. And you obviously have to have a tornado come out the backside of the storm if it's got a lot of rain on it, or you got to have a really LP storm like we do today. So it's not too common to see. I think I've maybe seen one or two ever tornado with a rainbow. But this storm, we're just kind of gonna let it. We need to probably so we don't get stuck in this rain. We probably need to move just a little bit to the south here. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna veer just a little bit to the south and get kind of out ahead of the rain. Hopefully we don't lose service. We're close to the interstate, so it shouldn't be too bad. We might have a new meso trying to. I can't tell. I gotta. Alright, here we go. Now we're gonna get south. We're honestly right under the storm. That's why we don't have a good visual of anything. We're literally under the storm here. So I wonder if the play is to get back out ahead of it and get some of that structure, or I don't know. Hopefully I have some hopefully I have service. I don't know. It's really choppy. It really is choppy here. I gotta move, I guess. So we just head down the hydro. me some service, man. Please. Just get me. Why do I have one 5G plus bar in this town? What? I'm in its town and I have one bar. Makes no sense. It's a literal town. I have one bar of service. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand. I think I have service back, guys, but I don't understand. I'm in like this town. I'm in like a town and I like couldn't even get any service. It's very odd because on my way up here, I drove through these same spots and I had service every day. There's Jordan Hall right there. Oh my goodness. I had service on every town here. Wow. Look at that thing. Man, that's an impressive looking storm right there. It's getting a merger. It's almost weird. It looks like it's like become more elevated and weird, but it's getting like some kind of merger here, so we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does with the merger. That might, honestly, you know, that merger that it's trying to get might be exactly what it needs to get going. Because right now it's just it's struggling to, it's staying alive, but it's struggling to kind of pick up steam, and that merger might just be what it needs. I don't know why I had such bad service there, everybody. I was like kind of, like I said, I kind of had service in this. I drove right through this area and had service the whole time. We're getting a merger on the storm right now. I'll show you guys what it looks like in just a second. That merger's already trying to rotate. So that's how you know the environment's good for severe weather. Once we get the merger established, the storm might go bonkers. It might not. We'll have to see here. We should have some pretty solid, unless the storm really goes east, we should have some pretty solid chase terrain here. We're kind of right on the edge between a little bit more of like some canyons and versus farmland. The wind shear is very good. The low-level wind shear is very good. The mid-level wind shear and the upper-level wind shear is a little bit suspect or to be desired. But you can see the look at the inflow clouds just streaming right into this thing. I'll show you guys what that merger kind of looks like. You can see here, here's your storm. Here's a storm that we had. Look at that, very isolated storm right here. Just one isolated storm right there. And then if we go, you can see, look at this developing right here on the southwest flank of the storm. See that? That's a merger developing. And look at this merger. Now it's merging into the storm. So what might happen, you might have a new mesocyclone form down here and then move due south right over us. But it's just something we're watching here. Because... and this is something that I've kind of learned over the years, and it really, for these kind of tornadoes to happen, you want favorable storm interactions. And favorable storm interactions are almost more important than the actual environment that the storm is in itself. Sometimes storms struggle to do it on their own, and sometimes they just need a little bit of a kick. Sometimes they need a kick, and this could be the kick that this storm needs. It could not be, of course, but we'll have to find out, I guess. But I'm actually gonna even angle the car just slightly back, and we can get a view of the whole thing here. Wow, look at that thing. Make sure I don't go into the road here. Hopefully we keep good connection for the time being, but we'll see. So once these two storms merge, and I think they're in the act of merging right now, so they're kind of coming together here. They will the whole thing will probably strengthen and get a new mesocyclone, and at that point in time, then we could gear up for tornadoes here in the next half hour here, just before it's going to get dark in about an hour and a half here. Hour and a half, it'll be dark. It'll start to get dark in about half an hour. It is 7:30 right now. It's still we're just kind of entering the magic hour. Still kind of entering the magic hour here. But we're gonna be patient with this one and see what it does here. The velocities look pretty strong, but that also could just be contamination. The radar is kind of far away. I'm not really sure exactly. There's a decent bit of chasers on this storm, but not a ton. Not a ton up here. So if you're just tuning into the stream, welcome in. Make sure to like the channel. Sorry, make sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. I got that a little bit mixed up, but sorry about the connection issues. It is what it is, but I'm going to try to sit here as long as possible because I know I have a stable internet connection here. Henton is the play. What's up, everybody? Welcome in, everyone. Chappie, how's it going? Seymour, Nudger. Yeah, it is kind of getting nudged. Nudger, merger, kind of the same thing. Nudgers become mergers, but I mean, we're just gonna sit right here and wait for this thing. It's gonna come right on us. It might go just a little bit to the west, depending on what it does here. But let's get to 500 likes. Hey, listen to Chappie. We got, how many people do we have in here? We have 600 of you guys watching, and I appreciate it. Let's shoot for the 500 likes here. I think we're like 100 away. We're getting pretty close. Hopefully we won't get any huge hail. Honestly, we could. Well, right here, we may. I kind of want to be in the position that I was earlier on the backside of the storm. I just couldn't do that because I didn't have service. So I want to run the stream, so I had to get down this little town where we're gonna have service down here. And there's some small stones falling, but right now I don't think there's anything too significant. I think the storm is probably gonna turn a little bit to the south. Yes, our storm is looking like it's trying to turn south. Which I think would be good. It's trying to kind of turn against its mean storm motion, so that might be good for tornado genesis here soon in the next half hour. These things will ramp up pretty quick, so you never know. You just got to stay on it, be patient, and they will go. When they go, they really go. Sometimes when they go, they really go. We don't have a great radar right here, but it's okay. The OKC radar is probably the best one to use, honestly. Yeah, mezocyclone's kind of forming. Looks like that mezocyclone's kind of forming on the west side, maybe, and the storm is kind of deviating a little bit to the south and west. So we might, in just a couple minutes, I'm gonna probably move. Yeah, we're gonna move. We're gonna reposition just a little bit. I'm gonna get it ready soon. Hopefully, if we have some. Man, the structure on this thing is nice. The structure on this thing is very, very nice. Yeah, but we need to go a little bit. Here we go, tornado warning. Tornado warning now. Tornado warning now for Weatherford, Oklahoma, and Hydro, Oklahoma, just to the north of Eakley. So that merger is going to do big things here, I think, guys. Usually when the storm takes the merger, it'll reorganize and it'll recycle itself, and then it'll do big things. So I think that this is the kind of environment with the kind of low-level shear in place that we could definitely get some tornadoes out of this. We're starting to get some convective inhibition too. But look at this, guys. This is the storm relative helicity, okay? And look at this, the bullseye of 400 storm relative helicity. This storm is right on the bullseye and moving south. So you really can't get any more perfect positioning with this storm than we have right here. Pull up just slightly a little bit here. Wow, that's quite the shot right there, huh? Look at that, right with the, I don't know what that is in front of me. Obviously some kind of farming equipment, but I don't exactly know what kind. Got the sirens going. A very photogenic storm. Let me take the phone out of the car. Look at that. Look at that storm right there. That's incredible. Goes all the way up above me. The striation's right above me. You can see kind of like a clear slot back there. So we'll have to watch that area for any rotation or any kind of funnel. Not sure right now. I'm not sure right now if the storm is quiet. There's a lot of movement on those clouds, so down there on the bottom. So it might be gearing up here to produce something here. We got a perfect spot right here where we actually have internet service. Oh yeah, look at these guys. They're getting the shot right there. That's what I should have done. I think if anything drops out of this storm, it'll be an extremely photogenic tornado if something does. You can see that clear slot back there right behind the whatever this thing is. I don't really know what to call this thing in front of me. The sirens just turned off. These people behind me are freaking out. Okay. It's still undergoing some change here, but man, it's this thing, if it ever gears up, it's gonna really go. It's gonna really go, huh? Man, there's a lot of motion now on this thing, huh? Guys, it's gonna, man, this thing is gonna do it, isn't it? It's got a really high base. It's got a very high base, so that's the one thing that kind of makes me think like it's just maybe not in the cards, but I don't know. We'll see. I think the storm could be just a little bit too skinny, maybe even, and that's something to monitor. It looks pretty big from my angle, though, so I think this storm is big enough. You got Scud right there, getting pulled in right up there. Look at that Scud. You got Scud back there. I kind of want to get on better position on this thing and get right up on it, but part of me is also not sure if I'm going to keep internet service. Okay, it's really rotating now, just to my, it's really starting to kind of rotate now. We're about to get some big hail here, or at least ping pongs. So I might do some repositioning now. I might go ahead and get ahead of the repositioning now. So when it tries to produce in a minute or 20, I'm in the right spot. So if we lose service, I sincerely apologize, chat. Man, these are some scenes straight out of Twister, though, with these little towns with these old-fashioned water towers.
Take a slight left turn onto North County Road 24.
All right, guys, we'll lose view of it just for a quick second, and then we'll get back on this. You know, you have the dilemma with a storm like this. Do you want to go for the structure? Because, like, what if it doesn't produce a tornado, right? You're probably better off just staying out for the structure. But what if it does produce a tornado? Then you might want to be right under it, especially if it's, you know, a stronger one. If it's a little weaker, maybe the structure shot, you know, is a little better. So you do have that dilemma of where do you exactly target there? Look at that, you can see it right there on the right side of the screen there, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I don't have my normal setup today. My home internet is still having some problems, but I'm going to get all this stuff worked out. But if you're just tuning in, we're in Hydro, Oklahoma. We're just to the northeast of Weatherford, is the bigger-ish city in the area. And I'm trying to escape this hail core that's coming. My windshield's already a little bit compromised, and I'd love to wait and finish it off when I have a good tornado. I'd love to finish it off at some point when I actually have a nice tornado. But as we go a little bit south here, we will lose kind of some view of that storm. So I won't go too far south before I whip the car back around in a I'm a little bit concerned about the internet, but I think since we're so close to I-40, I think we'll be good for just a little bit longer. Sometimes you never know out here. Some parts of Oklahoma, you'd think you'd have service and you have 1 or 2 bars, and then sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere and you have 4. So we'll see. But I'll have to not lose service, and I might pull off in here quick. Actually, I've pulled off right here before to watch a storm, right in this little area right there. I've pulled off before, so I'm just gonna get a quick look at this thing. Okay, I don't see any tornado imminent here, but I think we want to get further away from this thing and watch it from afar. I think that might be the play right now, and then if it really starts to look like it's tightening up some rotation, then we'll get right up under it. Because like I said, today is really the perfect chase. If you want to intercept a tornado at close range, today is as easy as it gets, because you have these storms that are low precipitation and high based and moving very slowly. So, of course, for that to happen, you do have to get a tornado. But
go past the stop sign, then turn left onto County Road 1022.
Man, I don't. It might have been this town, but last year, I don't know if it was this town or another one of the small ones around here, but last year there's some tornadoes in this area, and I was chasing with my buddy Connor, and it was the same night that we had that tornado near Union City or Yukon. But right in one of these small towns, there was like some like insane damage, not from a tornado, but from an RFD. I don't know if it was this town or not. I cannot remember which town it was, but there's some pretty crazy damage, and it wasn't from a tornado. There were tornadoes in the area, but they didn't hit much. It was that rear flank downdraft, that those winds on the backside of the storm just like obliterated some farm, buildings and sheds and things of that nature. Even like the second floor of like some brick building got obliterated by this like probably 100+ mile an hour wind. Get into a better position and just fingers crossed. If I really do lose service or something and it's that bad, then I will purposely move into an area that I can get it, regardless of whatever
turn left onto County Road 1070.
hail or whatnot. But gosh, this storm is moving slow, and it's picking up. It is picking up rotation on velocity at least. I guess we'll see if that translates to anything actually happening. But man, that thing is all the way back towards Weatherford almost. With that merger and the storm kind of deviating a little bit to the west, it's almost all the way back west towards Weatherford right now. Sorry, there we go. There's the view of the storm. I'm going to get a little bit farther south, guys. Let me go, let me go just a few more miles, and as long as I hold some service here, I'll turn around on one of these dirt roads and we'll get a really good view. I saw all the little chaser dots on I-40. Seems like all the Oklahoma City folks, saw the storm go up and just blasted west on I-40. So let me get in position. Just bear with me for just a quick minute here while I get into position on this thing. And it is starting to get some bigger rotation on it. And I think if this guy's ever going to have a chance, it's going to be now. It's got to be now between about 8:30, 8:45 right before the sun goes down. That's going to be the best shot at this thing producing a tornado is going to be in the next hour. It's that window, and that doesn't mean it can't do it after, but there's a police officer right there. Good thing we're actually going under the speed limit. We're being extra safe. Wow, we're not getting pulled over today. Wait, that's a fake. Oh wait, that is an old cop car that's just parked there. Never mind, that's not actually a live active police officer. Oh, here goes the service a little bit wonky here. It's kind of in and out, so I might pull off any second here before I lose it. If I go like a mile too far and I lose it, then I'll come back. But the problem problem is, it's been cutting in and out even when I stay in one spot. So the problem is if I go to one area, it still will cut. It'll still cut in and out. Like, I'll just be sitting there and I'll have service for 10 minutes in the same spot, and then it'll be gone. It must have something to do with how many people are pulling from the cell tower, I guess, or something. I have no idea. But I'm going to go ahead and go west here, and we're gonna go ahead and get under this thing and see what it has to offer us. Wow, look at that. Look at that storm. It's going to need to do some tightening here if it wants to wrap up and produce a tornado. But oh man, this structure is just this structure is absolutely A tier here. Oh, don't open your door, buddy. Don't open the door. You got to watch, brother. You got to watch, brother. Wow, this is some of the best, probably for me, the best structure I've seen since Mound City, South Dakota last August. And this is pushing that structure. This might be even better than that. Man, can we just get a big, tall, like, stovepipe to just come right out of this, store? That would be absolutely perfect. If a big old stovepipe just popped right out of the middle of it, hit in the middle of nowhere somewhere. That'd be perfection right there. We're getting some rain. We're getting some rain now in that, but this is just incredible, man. This is incredible. I did want to stay down in the southern plains instead of driving up north the last couple days, because I thought there was a chance that a couple of these days could have an outflow boundary or an MCV set up. And looks like we got our outflow boundary set up in Oklahoma that actually fired a storm off. These roads are going to get bad if it gets wet. They're very slick already. It's kind of a mix between dirt and gravel. But I wanna pull off soon and just sit here and look at this. Just admire it. Just let it, let it take you captive, I guess. I might go, you know what? I might go 1 square mile south here. I might go 1 square mile south on these, we have a good gridded road network here. I might just go a little bit south and then turn around and look at it, guys. So let me do that. Let me do that, because I think the structure will be more impressive, and we'll just be able to, as of right now, like I said, I don't see an imminent tornado. Well, there is a little bit. Oh, there's a little bit of a cinnamon bun trying to get itself together up there, actually. But I don't know if that's actually going to produce. But there's a little bit of a cinnamon bun under that thing. Oh, here we go. Wow, what a shot. It's trying to produce a tornado. It'll be a high-based one. I'm zoomed all the way out here, y'all. We're at 0.5 zoom here. There's some broad rotation right in there, right where my finger is. There's a little bit of you can see the clear slot, and you can see a little bit of broad rotation right in there. Okay, it's wrapping up. It's wrapping up there, isn't it? See, I don't know if this is going to be able to wrap up enough to produce something out of this tall of a base, but I think, oh, shoot. big hailstone right there. All right, hold on. Let me dive just a little bit to the south. I want to get a little bit south and west on it so I don't get the hail. I really don't feel like I said, I don't want to bust my windshield, guys, unless I have a tornado to do it with. So these roads are gonna get rough too. That was just there's random golf balls coming down now. Okay, you can see them smashing on the road here. Very few and far in between, but there are some random golf balls now, and those golf balls will turn to tennis balls, you know, quicker than you think. So I've learned that before, but as I'm skittish with the hail because I don't really want to pay $800 obviously to, you know, get a new window. I don't think anybody would. So if I get a really good tornado, hey, you know, it might be worth it at that point. So yeah, but we're kind of right under that hail. I do think we're going to shift a little bit farther to the west. I think we're going to shift a little bit west and south here, guys, but just bear with me here and we will get a view of this thing again. Actually, we're going to kind of have a view there if I pan the camera. Oh, look at how big this storm is when it's right on top of you, and we can pan it over there and even get a view of it. Whoa! That was a bigger dip in the road than I kind of thought. It didn't look that deep, but man, that was a nice little divot right there. If you're just tuning in, we're just to the southeast of Weatherford, Oklahoma. Just near I-40. Close your door, brother. Close your door, brother. Ooh. That little doggy. Okay. Sometimes you think the dogs are gonna stop and they just keep running at the car. Like no, little guy. This car's gonna hurt you. Don't do that, man. Don't do it. Sometimes I feel like maybe dogs that have not gotten hit by a car, which is most of them, don't actually know that, hey, like this thing can hurt you. Okay, we have kind of a broad mezzo. It's not super tight. It's gonna really want to tighten up if we wanted to wanted to produce a tornado. The poor CRV and my skid plate. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna pan the camera forward and then we'll pan it back in just a second here. Give me 1 minute. This poor CRV, man, the skid plate. We lost our skid plate, or half of the skid plate, and the other half was dragging really bad under the car. So I tried to duct tape it, and that didn't work very well. And then I came up with a much easier idea of just zip tying it. And I just found one kind of spot where I could zip tie the skid plate onto the base of the car, and that was all it. So far it's held. So eventually I have to either get new skid plate or get someone to cut it off. But you know, the zip tie, or maybe the zip ties will just work. But we're gonna get out ahead of this storm, so we have a nice structure show right at sunset here in the next hour to sunset. We'll still have a little bit of light, probably all the way until even after 9 o'clock. But okay, these roads are not. Man, they've gotten a lot of rain in this area this year, so these roads are not too kind. So I can't imagine when it actually starts raining, we wouldn't want to get caught on these dirt roads here. That might be a tough spot to be in. But okay, let me turn right here and get on this. I'm gonna do a little U-ey here, and hopefully not get. It's not that muddy, so I'm not worried about that. But we'll actually go a little bit further to the west here and just. Oh, dude, this thing's gonna try to produce, isn't it? Okay, it's gonna try to produce. I'm just looking back there and I see the clear slot, and that doesn't mean it will, but it's attempting, and it's starting to. The storm is also starting to wrap some more rain in, and usually when these storms wrap in rain, that's a sign that they're picking up strength. There's more wind. There's more wind shear. There's stronger wind, and they'll kind of wrap that rain in there. That's usually a sign. That's usually a sign that these things are trying to wrap up some rain, or trying to wrap up a little bit more is when they get that rain wrapped in there. Stronger storms wrap up more rain. That's just the reality of things. So, but we've still got a pretty nice low precipitation storm overall here, and yeah, it's definitely trying to wrap up. It's like I said, it's very broad right now, but you never know when that rotation will just tighten up. And oh, here we go. We're going through some rough. I really hope I don't lose service here because we're going through a little bit of a rough. All right, hopefully I have some service right here. I went through a little canyon and it got a little bit rough, but hopefully it's back now. I knew right when I saw the little canyon right there, I knew instantly. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna probably lose it. The rotation is tightening up just a little bit, so actually it's tightening up a lot bit. So we're gonna actually we're gonna actually think about getting up on this thing. I'm gonna intercept this thing, and we're gonna intercept this thing from the west side here. So we're gonna go a little bit farther south here. We're gonna get to our west road, and then we're gonna hitch back up on it. So where'd the farms go, man? What is this terrain, dude? This road is gonna be cooked. And about this road is gonna be cooked in about an hour. I would not want to be on. Weird valleys, man. It's just swamp. Why is there a swamp down here too? My goodness. What an odd area. Well, once I get through. Why are there canyons this big? It is west. It is kind of west central Oklahoma, I guess. But man, these things are outrageous. We got out of the second we get out of those canyons, we get some service back. I think we should have it. I hope we have it. Fingers crossed. Oh, there's a lot of rain wrapped up in there now. Okay. Service, man. This is
Three-quarters of a mile. The destination is on your left.
storm. No hail over here. There we go. Service. Hallelujah. Please. There we go. Service, finally. There we go. We're out of those canyons here, and we got some service. Man, this thing is incredible. You can see where the rotation is. It's inside of that rain shaft right there. That's where all the rotation's going to be. And, man, I just wish this storm would just produce a big old tube here. Yeah, the low level rotation just isn't quite there right now, which which is a little bit interesting because the low-level shear is really strong. So the low-level shear, the wind shear that spins the storm, is really strong in the lowest level. But wow, like, we don't have a lot of light. The storm doesn't have a lot of lightning at all. I mean, literally, I see maybe 5, 6 active light. Look, you can see the lightning bolts there. There's almost no lightning on this storm now. And then he got that rotation. For a second, it looked like it was trying to produce a tornado. So I just wanted to be in a position where I could go intercept quick if I need to. But I just don't know if that low-level rotation's just gonna wrap up or not. The storm's showing some characteristics of it's lacking a little bit of a surface-based inflow, I think. That'd be my best guess as to why it's not wrapped. I think it could wrap up in the low levels. It just can't because it's not pulling in enough surface-based inflow right now. But it may start. It may start to, and you just never know. Seems like maybe they extended the tornado warning. Once again, the storm is moving incredibly slow here. It's not moving quick. It's 31 over 40, and I wonder how big the hail is, or the hail was on 40. I'm seeing 2-inch hail reported, maybe. It looks like. The rotation's slowing down just a little bit. Yeah, I think it really started to try to rotate just a minute ago, about 15 minutes ago, and then it's kind of slowed down, but you never know when it's going to ramp back up. And like I said, we really probably just need some more surface-based inflow on it, and it'll probably go bonkers, surely, I think. It just might never get the surface-based, might never get the surface-based inflow. It might never have a shot to go bonkers. Or maybe it will. It was picking up some earlier. Especially right when the storm developed. We're losing some of our rain under the base, so we might be able to get a clear view of what's going on under there. But I'm gonna go check some, since we could just kind of sit here and watch the storm right now. I'm gonna go check some chat. That's where the rotation would be, under there. But I hope everyone's having a fine Saturday. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far here. Maybe the better view is just to the south. It's definitely gotten bigger. Yes, the storm definitely got bigger after, even with no storm, this is awesome to watch. What do you mean no storm? We have a storm right here. We have a tornado warning. We're just to the south of I-40, just southeast of Weatherford. We have a tornado warning. What do you mean there's not a storm? But we have almost 600 likes. I appreciate all the support, guys. It means a lot to me. All the viewers, all the likes, everything. It just means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. If you send me anything like a super chat or a Venmo or anything of that nature, just and I miss it while I'm chasing, just let me know, and I will. And I will address it if you let me know. Sometimes I miss it. Well, a lot of times I'll miss stuff when I'm chasing, but okay, buddy. He's in a hurry. He's in a hurry. Yeah, that siren was creepy. Hey, Chloe, thank you for the $2. Appreciate it so much. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone else. Yeah, I've never done. I just started a goal. I didn't even know you could do that on. Didn't even know you could do that on YouTube. But you learn something new every day. You can see over here. I'll show you guys. We need, for this storm to really try to produce a tornado, you'd want to see a big tail cloud extend, because that would tell me it's pulling in a lot of surface-based inflow and it's getting scud. But you just don't quite have that right now. So, you know, and I am not ruling out this storm producing a tornado still. Like, it is still a possibility. You can see those rain curtains now wrapping around the base. But it's just, you know, if the storm has yet to produce a tornado, I kind of am like, okay, I wonder if the best chance for it to produce a tornado already happened. And if it didn't, you know, if it didn't produce one earlier, then it may not end up doing it. That's a good look right there. And I'd love for this thing to get some low-level structure on it too. It'd just be cooler to look at. Because right now it just has a lot of mid and upper level structure, so it's a little bit difficult to get a great view of it unless you're right under the storm. I mean, not right under it, but far away from the storm. And we have a pretty good view now of the wall cloud. I'd say that's probably a wall cloud back in there in the middle of the screen right there. Probably got a wall cloud there. Yeah, you got a wall cloud back in there. Oh my gosh, Chloe. Boom, heck yeah. W's for Chloe in the chat. Stormrunner Media? Talking about Stormrunner in here. I like Stormrunner Media. They're pretty nice. They're pretty chill. They're pretty chill. They're pretty chill. Okay, you see, there's a little bit of a lower. You look at this lowering right here. We're getting a little bit of a lowering now, trying to pop down on this storm. So we need, you know, if we want to get a tornado, you need the mesocyclone to be a little bit stronger here, so that pressure, get the pressure to drop, and the storm will get a little bit lower to the ground. But you can see a little bit of a lowering. You can see a little bit of a lowering, kind of like a bowl back there, and it's still pretty high up. They're in here. Stormrunner Media's in. Oh, there they are. Oh, okay, yeah, Chappie. Thank you for letting me know. But we got a little bit of a bowl right there. We're gonna have to watch that and see. And you know, the sun is popping up too on my to my west. So I wonder if we could get a crazy view of something at sunset. Yeah, but see there it goes. It's not there. It's not there anymore. Look at the structure right here. I really wonder what this thing looks like a few more miles to my west. I might have to go check it out. Like, the structure might be absurd if I go a few miles to the west. I might have to go check it out. The problem is I don't really want to lose service, and I'm, you know, if I move, I'm obviously risking losing that service. You can see it's definitely still rotating. You can see those velocities. See those reds and the greens. A little hook echo. It has a little bit of a hook echo on it. It's still trying to wrap up in there. And for a minute, it had that little, had the bowl just about 2 minutes ago. And then earlier, it had a cinnamon bun up there. Yeah. Everyone on the storm, all the structure pictures I've seen on this storm are from the east side of it, including ours. And I wonder what it looks like from the west side. So I might go check it out. I might drive just a little bit west and cross my fingers that I don't lose service, because I want to see I want to see if it has that same kind of striated, if it has that striated structure from the west, and then you have the sun, you have that sun angle, you know, putting the sunlight there. They're still probably insane. I hope I'm not missing. I mean, it'd be hard to beat the structure we had 30, 40 minutes ago. It'd be pretty tough to beat that, but hopefully it's not dropping any insane structure right now. But like I said, I think the storm is just struggling with the surface-based inflow, and you can see how high-based it is. It's really struggling to get surface-based inflow, and I'm not exactly too sure of why. You know, I would have thought that they would have had, you know, plenty, but maybe not. I do wonder what this thing is going to look like. Man, it'd be awesome. You know, it'd be awesome. Just a big white stovepipe, just, you know, drills through the storm. It just drops right here, right in front of us. We're pretty close to the storm. I'm in 0.5 view, so like, I mean, I don't have to really zoom in much at all, and we're close to the storm. But we did have a brief, I do believe, I'm 90% sure we did have a brief tornado right off the bat within like 5 minutes of me starting the stream. And literally the storm might have only been alive for like half an hour, and we had a little brief spin up. Maybe a couple. There's some people saying that there's multiple tornadoes. So I'll take their word for it, because to me, I wasn't at the best angle to see, but it looked like one to me. So I might try to go a little bit west, honestly, and see what this thing is looking like here. The road network's solid, and I don't think we're gonna hit any massive. I'll watch to see if any tornado drops. I don't think we're gonna hit any massive data holes, but I want to take a gander and see what this thing looks like on its western flank, and then if it doesn't look very cool from the west side, then we'll shoot back. We'll shoot back to the east and south, and we'll get back out ahead of it. There's another supercell firing to my west. Actually, there's another storm that's going up to my west, and I'm curious to see if that one does anything. And if I had to guess, it's probably not ever going to. See, you can see that storm over here in the distance. I'll zoom in on it. See, you can kind of see the anvil. The sun is really not giving a good angle on it, but you can kind of see the anvil. There's some other chasers over right here where I was. Okay, so it must look cool from back here, maybe. But let me just go like a mile or two this way, but you can see the other cloud. Look at that other storm going up in the distance right there. I think as long as I stay away from these canyons, I think I will keep. As long as I stay on this kind of farmland where these wind farms are, I think I'll probably keep most of my service. That was a big old bug right there. Oh, dude, I bet this thing looks sick from the backside. Okay, we'll see if it's really that structured and that. Yeah, if it really has that much structure, it'll look pretty sick from this backside here. I can't get a full view yet. This is the fun thing, is when you're repositioning like this and you can't get a view of the storm. It's always exciting whenever you finally get to see what it looks like again. But just bear with me for just a second. Oh my gosh, I think I just hit a bird. That is not cool. These birds, I can't do anything about it. They just keep flying out in front of the car. Well, there's not much you can do. But man, if we could get a tornado to drop out of this storm, it might be a dream shot of mine. It might be one of those dream shots. And we've had a couple of those this year, but this year's been hit or miss. We've had some of those crazy, dream shots, and then there's also been times where not as impressive. Wow, this thing is pretty cool. I always like wow, this thing is awesome. Could this thing just drop a tornado? Please just drop a tornado. Like, honestly. Like, just drop one. Just drop a tornado for me. Like, honestly, that would be so awesome. Is that asking for too much here? This is a cool. You can see the striations on the bottom. Imagine if there's just a big tube. Imagine if there's a big tube like right by that rainbow. man. It's still tornado warned. It's still tornado warned. I once again, I don't know if, I don't think anything's quite imminent here, but it still is tornado warned. You see that rainbow right there? There's a rotate, and there's a rotation right, like that's the rotation right there. Man, this thing is cool. I bet it looks even cooler if I went another mile to the west too. But we'll just sit here and kind of watch it. But yeah, could you imagine if a tube just dropped out of that base? I mean, that'd be pretty legit. That'd be pretty legit right there if something came out of this. But just, yeah, this is a really pretty storm here, guys. Very, very, very pretty storm here. It's rotating in there. This is what the Supercell looks like from way out ahead of it. By Andrew Scherer, I think is his name. That's what it looks like from out ahead of it. And that's what we kind of had earlier when we were on it. And honestly, I'll show you guys. It was honestly pretty cool earlier. I'll show you guys the video. This was earlier in hydro. Look at that. That was in hydro. That's a pretty insane storm right there. And you know, this storm doesn't have a lot of, it does not have a lot of striation on this backside, but I think the convective look is pretty cool as well. It's almost like it's getting close. It's almost like it's getting closer to us. Like, I feel like this storm is moving at us. It's got that rainbow too under there. This is a cool view. I don't know if I prefer this view or the one out ahead of it, but we got to see all of them today, so that's pretty fun. It is nice to have a storm that's just kind of meandering here, moving very, very, very slowly. It's a very nice thing to have. Makes it a lot easier. That's for sure. Still rotating. It's still, I think overall, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's not weak. It hasn't weakened a ton. It might have weakened a little bit, though. Our storm might have weakened just a little bit, but... Well, you know what? The echo tops just shot back up. Unless it's a glitch, but it looks like they just shot back up. And like I told you guys, this is in the best possible wind shear that you can have right now. It's right on that 400, 300... strong wind shear. The 400 is the strongest wind shear right there, and like we're right on the bullseye. You really cannot draw this up any better. You can't have a storm placed any better than this one is placed. Like, if it's gonna produce a tornado, this storm is in the absolute perfect spot to do it. Just perfect. You could look at the we could look at the SIG-TOR parameter as well, and I'm sure it would be right in the bullseye too. But you got a perfect location of the storm, and yeah, there's a SIG-TOR parameter, and the storm is kind of down here on the bottom end of that. Man, I think the rotation's picking up just a little bit. I'm watching it spin right in front of me. Come on, drop a big old tube for me. Drop a big old tube out of this thing. That'd be awesome. It's a long shot at this point, I think, but it's possible. Anything is possible. How's everybody doing? Is it getting an inflow tail? Yeah, that's inflow coming into it. It has multiple inflow tails. It has a little one on the back side probably, and it also has one on the front too as well. But yeah, it's getting a little bit of an inflow tail there. And like I said, it's just not pulling in enough surface-based inflow. Storms like that warm surface inflow a lot if they want a tornado. Is that a tornado? No, that's just, I think that might be the rainbow that you're looking at sticking down. Or a rain shaft maybe, yeah. Yeah, Garrett chased with me for a few days, and then he got kicked out of the car, unfortunately, because he didn't follow the rules. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He had to. DL just came back. He didn't get kicked out of the car. The rotation's tightening up. It's not strong, but it is tightening up. It is tightening. Look at that. The rotation is tightening a little bit right there. It's not strong. It's really not strong, and it's actually right in front of us. You can see it right there. You can see that little lowering right in front of us. That is the rotation that's tightened up just a little bit. Zoom in on it. Right there. A little bit of rotation. And it's not super strong. Like it's not really that strong. So I have my doubts that it'll ever produce a tornado, but it looks pretty freaking cool. So wow, what a storm. I can stand here, no lightning, no hail. Really, I hope there's no lightning. I want to show you all a little bit of something here. Ooh, I was zoomed in there for a while. All right, let me show you all a little bit of something right here. Okay, so here's our storm right here. And look, this right here is inflow. You can see right here, this is inflow feeding into the storm. And there's the base right in front of me. And this on the other side is extremely striated, but you can see the whole thing rotating. So see these clouds right here? These clouds right here are stretching. So you can see, look at these stretching from left to right here. Stretching. And then these clouds over here are coming from right to left. And these clouds are coming from left to right. And they're moving in tandem. You can see it. If I really sat the phone here for a while, you could really see the motion of these ones over here are moving one way, and these over on the bottom are moving another way, and the whole thing is rotating. And then up there, you just have the updraft just gets so high up there, I can't even see it anymore. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool right here, and still got a little bit of a lowering right there, but not a ton of rotation going on. Man, we're gonna have a pretty wild lightning show here in just a minute if we can get this storm to sustain its strength here. That's one of the best examples I've seen of wind shear actively shaping a storm like that. And it's a cool angle to see, because usually the storm is so wrapped up in rain, it's hard to get this kind of angle. And we're going to have a threat for these storms for a latter part of the night. For a large portion of today, we're going to have or the rest of today, we're going to have a threat for these storms. I don't know how long I'm going to chase, guys. I haven't decided on that yet, but as long as we have a good storm, probably keep chasing it until I get tired, or they just look terrible. But we might have some more elevated stuff here, and the thing is, once the supercell goes off into the sunset, once the supercell goes off into the sunset, I don't know if there's going to be something else to chase, but maybe this thing continues for another couple hours. I have no idea. But yeah, I just don't see a lot of low-level rotation, but this is pretty dang cool. So tornado or not, no complaints from me. You don't see stuff like this every day. Wow. We're going to get some wild lightning shots here in just a minute. Because there's all up here at the top, I'm seeing a ton of lightning. Cloud to cloud. Not much cloud to ground. Lots of cloud to cloud. And look up here. This is pretty cool. See this little thing right here? That's actually inflow. That's an inflow tail up there. And I've never seen an inflow tail like that. Wow. But you could tell our storm is certainly feeling the effects of the surface temperature dropping as we get into the evening here. But this is pretty dope. Wow. Then we got Mamadas starting to pop in here and make an appearance as well. So the HRRR wasn't really firing much in the way of convection today, but I kind of had a gut feeling, that there's a chance. And then around lunchtime, I kind of was like, okay, it's a very, very low chance. And then as I started driving out here about 4 p.m., I look at the data again and I'm like, wait a second, okay, I think we're actually going to get some of the fire in the daytime. And that's exactly what happened. This is wild. I actually think that there might be a funnel over here. I'm not, you know what? I'm not 100% sure because it's not really rotating that fast, but that might be a funnel right there on the way back side of the storm. Hold on, guys. I want to take a quick video of this on my other phone here. Actually, we're getting some better structure over here now anyway. Look at that. Look at that structure. That might have been like a little shear funnel. It might have been an occlusion from a long, long time ago, too. What do you call a shear funnel? It could have been like an actual funnel from a while back. I'm not sure. It looked pretty convincing. It looked pretty convincing though. Chat, what do we think, chat? Do we think this is gonna produce anything? What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know. Wow, this is just, look at the colors just starting to pop. Look at the colors just really popping right there. Dude, this is incredible. This is incredible. I don't know if I want to be on this back side of the storm right here or on the front side of the storm, but this is incredible. We're going to get some awesome lightning, and I might take the stream and like put a time lapse on it. That'd be pretty sick. You can see the convection is still blowing up too. Still getting some convective blow up right there. But man, nice storm. I do wonder if we want to go on the other side of it. I do. I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to go back to the other side of the storm, because I think at this point, unless something miraculous happens, I think at this point it's pretty obvious that this storm is not going to produce a tornado. It's still tornado warned, but you know, I wouldn't. The tornado warning expires in 2 minutes, and realistically they're probably going to let it expire. And we got a new thunderstorm though near Chute and Foss, Oklahoma. It makes me wonder, like all the way out there, new thunderstorm out there near Chute. Is it Chute or Foss? Canute? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Whatever. But that storm is going up. This storm is like stationary. This storm is literally it's literally stationary. It's not even moving. Like we've sat here for what, 20 minutes, and yeah, I wonder if Foss is really going up. This one's starting to lose its tops. I might make a pivot, guys. I really might make a pivot to the west and just see what that other storm is about. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of, honestly, it's probably in the better convective environment, like thermodynamically. I might make a move. We might have to pivot. We'll get there after dark if we got there, but we might have to pivot there. I don't know, it's a tough thing to do because we got this awesome storm just spinning right here, but this storm is obviously weakening. We had another one obviously just blow up, and whether that storm's going to do, maybe that storm will just do the same one this one did, but I have no idea. We also have storms that are going to form in northern Oklahoma, but those are going to be a little bit more elevated in nature. This one is kind of elevated in nature, and obviously this storm is decaying. This is a decaying supercell. As you can see, it's kind of dwindling away slowly, but it's fun to watch them. As fun as it is to watch a supercell form, it's fun to as long as the supercell did something for you, it's fun to watch it die. If the supercell just didn't do anything, then I guess good riddance. But no, it's fun to watch a supercell kind of go off into the sunset. And just kind of looking at what the environment could look like here in the next couple hours. I think, man, that one to the west could absolutely do it. I mean, it could really do it. You see the mezocyclone right there. You can see the whole mezocyclone right there. It has a tiny bit of rotation on it, but it's kind of, and the lightning on this thing's gonna be pretty sick, but there's a tiny bit of rotation on it, but it's kind of off into the sunset here. I don't know. I don't know if any of these other ones are gonna be able to produce. Like, it's just tough. Like, once you get into nighttime and your low-level jet almost gets a little too strong, and your surface temperatures get a little bit too cool. And like I said, tornadoes like the warm surface-based air. They don't like the colder air. And at nighttime, they'll ingest that colder air, and unless they have really some insane wind shear, they'll have trouble ingesting the wind shear. Might be just a little bit worse actually to our west on the storm that's firing up there. I think the move might just to stick with this guy right here that's giving us the show. But wow, look at that convection just going up there. That is just incredible. Yeah, I mean the wind shear definitely, the 0 to 1 wind shear is definitely lacking. That is probably what part of the reason it didn't produce. But wow, that's incredible. I'm gonna have to like record all this and time lapse it somehow, but it's rotating again now. Yeah, that storm near Foss is definitely picking up a little bit, but yeah, this one's obviously kind of weakening now, so, but it looks pretty cool. Those tops are trying to shoot back up again there, but a little bit. But overall, man, this thing's decaying. It's really decayed here. So I might take a gamble on the west one, and if we kind of start driving west towards the other one, and it starts to kind of plateau or not look as good, then we can always shoot back east. And wow. What an awesome storm. Look at this storm. This is what it looks like from the other side. That is what it looks like from the other side. That is awesome. You guys got to see the whole life cycle from the very beginning of the Supercell. We kind of got on the Supercell maybe 20 minutes after it developed to the very end of it. And I don't know. The problem is if I go west, it puts me another, that's all the way out by Elk City. It's not that far, but it does put me another hour, west away further from home. And then at the same time, well, it's like if I drive an hour west, that's an hour I have to go back east. So I got to think about the drive time too. And look at these Mamadas clouds too. Just awesome. All the way back there. You see it right there. Those little bubbly clouds. My cracked windshield's certainly in the way. Wow. Just awesome. From start to finish, we got to see this guy, and it might have produced a couple of brief tornadoes, but I think it just lost its surface-based inflow a little bit. Wow, it's getting those striations now again on the bottom. Wow, what a storm. What a storm. Probably one of the best structured storms I think I've probably seen. Yeah, most likely the best one I've seen this year, structure-wise. Where are we at? We're close to south of Weatherford. Yeah. South of Weatherford, Oklahoma. What a chase, guys. It's not quite over yet. It's definitely not quite over yet. Well, we're gonna watch this storm kind of go off and have its final moments here, and then that Mamatis is just awesome right there. And then we'll see what we do next. I don't know. We'll have to see I don't know how long necessarily I want to try to chase. Just depend. But look at that thing. It's just so incredible how it just decays into nothing. You can still see it I don't know if you guys can see it good on the oh shoot, what did I just do? I don't know if you guys can see it very good on the phone through the stream, but you can see it decaying. And these other storms out here, I was talking about these storms in West Oklahoma, maybe trying to go for those ones, and I'm not sure. Not too sure about it. The velocity's still picking up a lot of rotation in there. Look at that thing. Look at how the storm is like moving backwards. It was going from left to right, and now it's like moved backwards. That's just insane. There's a lot of lightning now. These storms to my west, I can see them right now. There's a lot of lightning on them. I don't think they're gonna ever pick up anything. I think this was a storm to do it. I think if any storm was gonna do it today, it was this one right here, and I don't know if it's gonna happen with any of these other ones after dark. Although there's still a threat for it to happen. They did issue a severe thunderstorm watch. So they did have that out there. Tomorrow, I kind of have a suspicion. I gotta see. We'll see what this convection does tonight. This is how it is this time of year. It all depends on what happens the night before. But I have a little bit of a suspicion that we may end up in the southern plains again tomorrow. I'm not chasing probably anywhere else. But if there's something else down here in the southern plains, then we will absolutely go for that. Look how stretched it's becoming. Wow. That is just awesome. Yeah, so what's really going to happen the rest of the night is you're going to eventually get a mesoscale convective system, and that's going to pack a punch, probably a little bit of a punch, Oklahoma City eventually, and I'm really intrigued tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm really intrigued with this, with an MCV maybe over Arkansas. It kind of gives me some decent vibes tornado wise, and we'll see. But Yeah, this Supercell is on its final gasp. Yeah, talk about dead. I mean, this thing is long gone. So now we gotta figure out where to chase. What do we do? Oh my gosh, I gotta go look at this behind me. The sunset is incredible. Oh, not the skeeters. Get out of the car, please. Get out of the car. Oh, whoa! Look at this. Whoa! Oh my gosh! Look at that anvil shadow. I gotta get some pictures of this. That is cool. That is sick. That is sick right there. Alright. If you're just tuning in, we're near Weatherford, Oklahoma here. Man, that lightning strike is pretty sick as well. I'm gonna pull the car up here. I wish I saw this a little earlier because now we lost that anvil shadow there. That was pretty sick, but I'm gonna pull. Hopefully no one has to come use this gate right here, but I'm gonna pull up right here where it's a little bit easier to see without the telephone pole. Oh, well, it's actually still in the way, but there we go. Look at that sunset. Wow, that's legit right there. My goodness. That's pretty awesome. Getting some good lighting now out of this guy. It's pretty sick. What a sunset. And there she goes. There goes the sun. It's 9 o'clock and we're just now losing it. Love this time of year just for that reason. A lot of people are starting to move west to this other storm. I'm not sold on it doing much of anything. I mean, we're watching it right here. Well, there's 2 updrafts. The other one's behind this one, but I'm not sold on them doing anything. Tornado warning near Fredericksburg, Virginia. Wow. Didn't have that on my bingo card today. I don't know if this storm is going to do anything by Elk City. I'm just not sold on it. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. For now, we got this insane view right here that we can look at. So, there we go. Look at that. We'll zoom in on it. Look at that view. If we get a lightning bolt. We got a lightning bolt right down the middle of the screen. That'd be pretty sick. But trying to figure out what to do here. But that's an impressive looking updraft right there. I think that's kind of like an elevated left split type of deal there. My problem with this storm to the west is the reason why I'm not so in on it is because it's kind of on the edge of the boundary. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. It's kind of on the edge of that boundary, though, but where the better shear is just a little bit to the east, but it is right on the edge. It has maybe enough, so I don't think it's going to do anything toward it. I don't want to drive an extra hour. I don't want to drive an extra 2 hours round trip to, get a storm that's not going to produce a tornado, or try to, especially at nighttime. But we have to watch. There's several spots we got to watch, so I'll show you guys here. So the left circle is our new storm. The left circle is the new the left circle is the new storm there by Elk City. This up here is what we got to watch for later. We got to watch this up here, where that X is, for later. We actually, you know what? We actually have a structured supercell right in front of us, so we don't even need to drive an hour. We got one right here. So we're chilling, guys. We got a supercell right here. Thirsty, went and got some water from the back end. So I'll show you guys what the HRRR thinks. And it's not the end all be all, but it kind of picked up on today. It was very inconsistent, but it did do an okay job. It did do an okay. Not a great job, just okay. But I think all the other models did trash, so it did better than some of the other models. Yeah, you can see the HRRR doesn't think these storms are going to sustain over here, and I don't think it's necessarily that wrong. But look, this is what it has later tonight. Gosh, let me zoom out here. Later tonight. Dude, why is the phone so blurry? Any ideas? Oh, well, whatever. But you can see, look at this. It has this like complex of storms. Oklahoma City, Tulsa. But I mean, this is 3 a.m. I don't really want to chase. Sorry, but I don't want to chase at 3 a.m. unless it's a tornado. I tried to do that the other day in Houston. That was a miserable fail. I went down to the Houston area to chase because I initially thought it was going to be a daytime, severe risk. And then, that never panned out. So then I'm like, okay, then we're going to have this nighttime one, and never really panned out. Look at that Mamadas. That's incredible right there. That's the view right there. That's the view right there. Let me check chat here, guys. What's everyone saying in here? What's up, everybody? Nice mamadas. Heck yeah. Tornado warning, Virginia. Yes, I saw that. Welcome in, Dad. Soup Dog. Rob, how's it going? New England. What's up? Angie. Sizzle Steak. That's a monster. What? Question mark? Central Virginia EAS. Yeah, tornado warning, Virginia. Yeah, I can't teleport. If I could, I would. Can't quite do that. Not yet, guys. I haven't unlocked teleportation. And it looks cool. It is cool. We're going to see some more lightning now. But yeah, welcome in, everybody. Make sure to hit that like button if you're just tuning in. We're just over 700 likes. I don't know if we're gonna be live enough to get, or I don't know if we're gonna be live for long enough to get up to 1,000. But I think we could get to 800. I think that's fair. At least 800, 850. Maybe if we get some more storms that develop in the next hour or something, we'll go after some more stuff. But I think that's fair. I think we get to 850 for sure. And if you're new to the channel and you like this kind of content, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. Appreciate it so much, guys. Appreciate it a lot. Every single one of y'all. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. I'm having a good weekend. Obviously, the storm chase tonight was pretty fun. And then storm chase tonight was very fun. My college team, the team that I root for, won their first College World Series game. So that was a big win right there. I think they're definitely probably favored to win it all after that. I think LSU and Arkansas, I think whoever ended up winning that game was going to be the favored team to win, obviously, and LSU pulled it out. So tough for Arkansas fans. They've never won a national championship, and I thought this could be their year, and it still could, but it's tough when you lose that first game. Yeah, I don't know if this storm over here is going to do it. I don't know, guys. This one over here towards Burns Flat doesn't look very southeast of Elk City. It just doesn't look very, I don't know. I don't think it's going to end up doing it. So we're going to watch. I mean, we're just going to sit here and watch this Supercell. I mean, we're just going to sit here and watch this thing. It's not even moving. And at some point, it's got anticyclonic rotation too and everything. It's kind of moving. It's moving towards us. It's got some anticyclonic rotation, more of a left split. Probably has some decent sized hail in it. I think a lot of people are going to probably try to shift over to that storm to the west. I don't know. I could be very wrong, but I'm just kind of looking at things, and I'm not too sure that it's going to do much. Flash flooding will also be a concern tonight. Especially, I think, just to the north of Oklahoma City and up to, like, Guthrie, Stillwater. Oh, gosh, what's that other town up there? Enid, maybe? I would be concerned about flash flooding up to the north central Oklahoma, Oklahoma City north especially. I'd be concerned about flooding if you get some storms that train. I mean, you could easily get 3-4 inches of rain pretty quickly. And I think tomorrow is gonna probably be a chase day. Maybe. We'll have to wake up and see, but sorry, this is my other dilemma here. Excuse me, this is my other dilemma here is, well, I could go home tonight, back to Southwest Missouri, but the problem is, I go back to Southwest Missouri, all of a sudden there's an outflow boundary in the Texas Panhandle that looks nice, right? Or I stay out here and then I can play both Texas Panhandle and the MCV across Arkansas. MCV, if you don't know what that is, that's kind of just a lot of times these big thunderstorm complexes that develop at nighttime put out these like kind of their own surface low, and that surface low will spin, and then sometimes if you get some good instability on there, and you'll get look at that Mamatis. I'm gonna come out of the car and show you guys this Mamatis here. Look at that. That's just incredible. Look at this view. I mean, it doesn't get too much better. It does get better than this, but this is pretty nice. Whoa. Get in the car here before I get struck by lightning right next to this big old power pole. That'd be quite interesting if that happened, but I mean, maybe not in a good way. There's a bug right in front of the camera right there. So I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm going to have to do some more assessing here in the next hour or two because, yeah, we'll see. I'm only 3.5 hours from home. Like, I'm really not. If I wanted to, I could get home. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to get home too late. I'm a little bit tired already. But I could easily, tough the drive out to, until 1, 2 in the morning. But, if I got to figure it out in the next hour or two. Maybe it just depends on if anything fires north of Oklahoma City, which it will. Stuff will fire up there. Yeah, I don't know about the Texas Panhandle play tomorrow because, it could happen. But your mid-level flow is like out of the north, and I don't know if that would even know if that would be good or not. You have that MCV tomorrow in Missouri. You could see it right here on the 850 millibar winds. Look at that MC. Oh, whoa, there it is. Look at that little surface low down there, Arkansas Missouri border. That could be very interesting. But sometimes those setups don't. Those setups are unpredictable. Sometimes they don't do a ton. And the problem is with those outflow boundaries in the Texas Panhandle is if you get a good line of convection overnight, those things will go and they won't stop. They'll just keep marching to the east. Tomorrow's Sunday. Theoretically, you'd have a good environment behind that outflow boundary, but I just don't know if it would, I don't think that's going to be the play. I really don't think it will, so I think that MCV, Arkansas, Missouri, that's probably the play. That really probably is the play. Look at that tail cloud right there. See, look at this tail cloud right here on the back side of the storm. This storm is a left split, anticyclonic rotating storm, or it's at least got anticyclonic rotation up there. Problem is with that MCV, the one issue is the terrain that it's going to be in. Like, okay, it's going to be in the Ozark Mountains, and there's, it's tough. Like, if I'm trying to go chase, it's tough because the service isn't going to be good, and service won't be very good. And, obviously the mountains, or, from Missouri, we call them mountains. They're probably, to some people, they're probably not even hardly hills, but call them mountains. But you got the mountains of trees, and then the service is, of course, not great. But if you do go there and you do intercept a tornado, it's a good feeling. It also kind of shows something down by Little Rock as well, which would be if there's something down by Little Rock, and this is just one model, like this stuff can and will change, but if there's something down by Little Rock, okay, that's much more, chaseable down there. Even north of Little Rock, you still have some decent stretches of farmland. And look at this. Wow, what a view. Look at that. I'm just waiting for this electric pole next to me to just get absolutely fried, but it's gonna happen. Hopefully not. But I do see some potential with that MCV tomorrow. I see potential with it. Whether it ends up working out or not is to be determined, but I do see the potential with it. But like your typical MCV setups, there's kind of bad mid-level wind shear, and oh gosh, and then shoot, Monday might be a chase. Monday might be a chase too. Well, the environment looks real nice, but I'm pulling some soundings. Forecast sounding is just kind of tells you what the environment or what the atmosphere is looking like. But I'm pulling some forecast soundings, and it's not too hot. There's also a target in Colorado tomorrow that I was mildly possibly interested in, but I might just run home, and the next hour I'll start driving home, and then I can get back by at least 1:30 or 1:45 or something like that. And yeah, I don't know if the dew points are quite there for Colorado. 45-degree dew points, like that's what this model is showing. I just don't think the dew points are there right now. The shear is, but the dew points aren't. So Colorado might not be the play either. It could be a play on eastern Colorado, western Kansas could be the play on Monday. Or it might not be a chase. I might take Monday off and then get ready to chase Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. But I see some sneaky potential, and I do see the sneaky potential in Colorado, Kansas border on Monday there. So we'll have to keep assessing all of these models, and it'll be interesting. This is a very interesting time of year to forecast, and it's tough. Forecasting this time of year is not easy. It's not easy, so. And the thing is, this is what I've said a million times, and I'm sure you guys have heard other people say it, but you always don't know what's going to happen until you see how the overnight complex of storms develops. So, like tomorrow, depending on what these overnight storms do, we'll see what happens. Now, there's a pretty consistent signal of the MCV in Missouri, Arkansas, but we'll see how the convection ends up playing out. But I had fun with today's chase. If you guys are just tuning in, I'm just kind of south of Weatherford right now, just kind of watching this storm decay as well. These storms are kind of on their way out. I'll show you guys some of the pictures we got today, though, and what we had. So this is kind of the storm right as it got going. The storm looked pretty healthy as it got going there. Hold on, there you go, right there. That's right as the storm got going by Thomas. The storm didn't move a ton. Might have had a couple of brief tornadoes in there. I got one that looked better on my stream. Then the storm started wrapping up again and almost produced another tornado. But it could just never quite get there. And then, look at that. That was near Hydro, Oklahoma. Look at that, near Hydro, Oklahoma. That was incredible. And then we had that. And then we finally got on the backside of the storm, and we're sampling the sunset on the back end. Look at that. It was rotating. It's rotating under there as well. And then it decayed, and then we got this little guy. Right. here. Look at this anvil shadow right there. That's pretty sick. But that was kind of the change. That was like a little rundown of what we had today. So pretty interesting stuff. All right. At this point, if I was going to go for that other supercell, I would have already wanted to go for it. And I don't think I will. So if it ends up producing some kind of weird nighttime tornado, then that's on me for not seeing that coming. But like, my thing is, if this storm over here could not produce a tornado and it was in the best environment of the day, there's no way that another one does. We have some severe thunderstorms now going up north of OKC, so this is what I'm going to do. Gosh, okay, this is what I should do here. I'm going to start my way home. Although, we may take a detour to chase some of these storms if they really get going here. If some of these storms north of OKC really get going and they go severe, they look like they have a wind, hail risk or whatever, we'll go after some of those. They really start looking good. We got this storm right here. It's not producing a ton of lightning anymore, so I'm not too sure I want to keep going for it. But I'm interested to see how some of these setups play out. And, before I start driving, let me show you guys maybe what's going to happen here in the next week or two. I'll show you guys some of these models and real quick here. So when I forecast, we got a supercell still. You can look at how striated that is now. And we still got, you can still see that mammatus up there. Look at the top. Yeah, you got that mammatus there. But as we watch this thing die, when I forecast severe weather, I kind of start in the middle of the atmosphere. So I look at the atmospheric winds about maybe 5 to 7 miles above the ground, and then I use that as a baseline for what I would expect. I use that as a baseline for what I would expect out of a setup or a pattern or any given storm setup. So I'll show you guys what I'm looking at here for the next couple of weeks in a second. Looks like a lightning storm. Let me look at the chat quick. No rotation. Yeah, there's not much rotation, guys, on here. Yeah, there's some anticyclonic rotation because the storm is moving. Typically, your storms would move from north to south on a day like today, but this storm's moving. This storm's like deviating to the northeast, so it's got this weird anticyclonic rotation. Go Tigers! Heck yeah, Connor. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Like Coach O would say in that Cajun, gravelly voice. Go Tigers. I can't even do it. He's just so good at it. Can't replicate it. But I'll show you guys what I'm looking at here. Hopefully, okay, here we go. You guys can hopefully see kind of. It's not focused in, is it? But it's not going to focus in, but you guys can kind of see. So look at the jet stream. So this is right now. You can see the jet stream is kind of dipping down here. This is for today. We had a little bit of the jet stream. There's a ridge right here, and so the jet stream's arcing over that ridge. Dips down, and then we have some flow across the southern plains the next few days. But look at this flow in the northern plains. There's our severe system for the weekend right here. Central Plains, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, parts of Oklahoma. There's going to be severe weather. Eventually, it's going to shift to Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and then look, we get a big ridge. Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma. We get a big ridge, and then on top of this ridge, you have a lot of flow, and then you have a big trough. So this may or may not happen. This might not happen exactly how this one model run is showing it, but this is what kind of the models have been hinting at. This big ridge, and then we get this big trough on top of the ridge, and then look at this. It just stays active. You just have storm system after storm system across Nebraska, parts of Kansas, Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, even probably the high plains of Wyoming, Montana, and even southern Canada. You're going to get into the action as well, and then this model just keeps it going into the end of June. And So we'll see, guys. It's going to be an active stretch. There's going to be a lot of storm chasing to do. That's all I got to say. There's going to be a ton of storm chasing to do in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I'll see. I think if I had to say right now, tomorrow's maybe like a 50-50 chase. I'm not sure. I think Monday I'd probably lean. It's probably close to 50-50, but I think I'd lean probably more towards not chasing on Monday. I think there's a good chance I stay home Monday. And then, like I said, tomorrow's 50-50. And then I do think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll get back out there. And I do... Whoa, that was a nice strike of lightning. I do have some conflicts towards the end of the month. I do have a couple conflicts that I might have... I'm going to plan on attending... I've got some family stuff that I do plan on attending. Like, unless there's a setup. If there's really a couple setups that really are just, like, so good, I'm just like, okay, these are ones I have to chase. I will, but other than that, I'm probably gotta attend some family stuff, and well, I want to. Like I said, I want to do that, and I plan on doing that, unless of course, like I said, if things just look that good. To where, like, hey, like, there's gonna be big tornadoes, I might have to. Maybe I'll go to my family stuff for a day or two and then leave. But I do have some stuff. But other than that, my month is pretty open to just storm chasing. We gotta watch for deer on these roads. They're gonna be out and about here, especially when we get down in these little canyons. We might see some animals. Hopefully, we don't hit them. I've seen a couple turtles already. We already hit a bird. Probably smashed into about 1 million bajillion bugs. And we might lose service too. We might lose some service too, but if we lose service, it won't be for long. It won't be for long, because pretty soon we're going to get onto the interstate. So if we do end up losing that service, it's not going to be for all that long. But I'm going to stay in here. Once I get out of the more main road, I'll probably looking to chow. I'm 4 hours from home, so I'm a little bit farther than I thought. Okay, I thought it was like maybe 3.5. Well, that does make sense. That does make sense, though, because I'm not on the interstate. Not right on it. I got to drive for, a little bit, get back onto the interstate, and then we're not far from. We're just to the south of Wethersford right now. I like Wethersford. I think it's a nice little town. Wethersford has a lot of stuff. I have a lot of fast food places and restaurants, and they have a Walmart, so anytime I'm in need of something, I just go to Weatherford when I'm out and about on I-40. I wonder what's bigger, is Weatherford, or is it Wethersford or Weatherford? I think it's Weatherford. What's bigger, Weatherford or Elk City? Do you guys know which one's the bigger town? There. Weathersford or Elk City? And hopefully I don't regret not going after this other Supercell here to the west. It's a little bit out of the way, and I don't want to go out of the way unless I really think I'm going to see a tornado. So I wonder if anyone has any looks at that one, any pictures or videos. I'd love to see it. It's been a fun chase, though. It's been a fun chase so far. The chase, as far as storm chasing goes, I'll be honest, it's probably, like, we'll get some lightning and stuff here, but it's probably about done. But like I said, if we start getting close to Oklahoma City and we see, what is up? Is this fog? No. If we get close to Oklahoma City and we see some storms start to really go, then we'll get on them. Do we have connection? Okay, well, we're going to be a little bit in and out here. Actually, we're coming up on this little, I don't know what town this is up here. We might be coming up on a little town, so we might actually, and we're getting close to the interstate, so we might actually get that connection back. Oh, we're kind of close to Weatherford. Okay, we're on the outskirts of it, but it's probably closed, but man, some Qdoba would sound nice. Some Qdoba from Wethersford. You know, hey, this is a good question, chat. Okay, I gotta know your guys' opinion on this. Okay, I was debating this with my friends the other day, and we were debating between Moe's, Qdoba, and Chipotle because they're all kind of, you know, they're like kind of those like Mexican grill chains, right? Where you get like the burrito or a bowl or whatever, you know. And they're all very similar, but they have some slight differences, and I think people have preferences. So I'm curious, which one do you guys think is the best? Do you guys think how would you rank Chipotle, Qdoba, and Moe's, like from those? And some of you guys might not even know what Qdoba or Moe's is. I'm sure most people probably know what Chipotle is, but I mean, Moe's has a lot of locations around the country, and not as many as Chipotle. And Qdoba probably has about as many as Moe's. So those two aren't quite as popular as Chipotle, but they're pretty popular. I'm assuming a lot of you guys probably have heard of those two places. But personally, my town that I live in has all three. So my town has one Chipotle, it has one Moe's, and it has one Qdoba. And if I had to rank them, I would have Moe's number one. I think Moe's is probably first out of those three, and then I think Qdoba's second, and then I think Chipotle is a close third behind Qdoba. I don't think it's that far behind Qdoba, but I definitely probably take Qdoba. And I think Moe's has the lead by a decent margin, but that's my opinion on it. I was curious, and a lot of you guys probably haven't tried all three of those places, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Qdoba, Moe's. Maybe there's a fourth one that I don't know about. There's a fourth chain like that is really popular as well. But I just know of those three. Well, I know Cava. I've heard of Cava. I've never had Cava, but I hear Cava's pretty good. So I think Cava's the fourth one. We'll throw Cava in there, and I'm just gonna leave Cava unranked because I have no idea. I've never had it. But Qdoba, definitely not Chipotle. Okay, never eaten any of them. Yeah, San Antonio. I'm sure you guys have plenty of Mexican places in San Antonio to go to. In San Antonio, the fastest growing city in the United States. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But is it, or at least I don't know if it's like the city the city limits proper itself or the metro, but one of those two I feel like is, and like some of those San Antonio suburbs I think are like growing way too fast probably for their own good. But I've been down there. Well, you know what? I've actually never been to San Antonio. I've been in like the outs. I think I've been to like New Braunfels a couple of times, but I've never actually been to like downtown. I've never been to San Antonio, and I know it's a cool city. You got the Alamo, and you got the River Walk, and stuff like that. But I think I've been to, there's a water park in New Braunfels called Schlitterbahn, and I think I maybe went to Schlitterbahn when I was like 12 or something. I'm literally on the interstate. How do I still not have service? I'm like sitting on the interstate. What is going on? Chat, what is happening, chat? I'm literally on the interstate, next to the interstate. I don't know what it wants me to do this funky route for, but oh, okay, I see. But we're literally on the interstate. What is happening? We're on the interstate and we can't even get, or we're on the, frontage road, or we're on the frontage road right next to the interstate and we can't even get service. What is going on? I even have the cell phone booster all hooked up in the car too, so Yeah, but if I had to guess, guys, I'm probably going to stay live for another 45 minutes or something. I'm going to start my drive home. Since I didn't get to interact with chat much, I'll probably do some of that while I'm driving, and because it definitely is tough to do all that while I'm trying to chase and drive and take video and, of course, run the stream and everything. But yeah, we'll hang out with you guys for a little bit in here, and then if some big storms really get going near OKC, I will gladly try to chase those. But at the same time, I'm not feeling 100%, to be honest with you guys, and it is already getting late. So I'd love to, if I could get home before 2 in the morning, that'd be awesome. If I can get home before 2, that'd be nice. Whoa! A little bit of a car wash there. Okay, good thing we didn't hydroplane. I did not see that puddle right there. Yeah, so what were we talking about? Oh, Moz and Cordoba and Kava, and I asked you guys what you guys thought about those chains. Schlitterbahn is unreal. It's pretty crazy. Only Moz you can find is in Joplin and Branson. I'm sure Springfield probably has Moz, right? I mean, you'd think, right? If Joplin has Moz, I'd assume that Springfield has Moz, or at least 2, probably 2 of them. But I'm not sure. I like Moz, and I'll tell you guys why. Okay, so here's why I put Moz ahead of Chipotle and Cordoba, and I'll go ahead and give a rationale for these rankings here. But Moz, okay, they give you free chips. Okay, they give you free chips with your meal. There's sides, there's salsas, the salsa that you can get on the side, and like you can get the limes and the lemons. Like those are all, they just have a whole bar with all the salsas, all that stuff for free. I feel like Chipotle doesn't have that. Like you can get some stuff on your burrito or whatever, but then you go to the little bar and there's just like, you know, Tapatio or something like that, or hot sauce, whatever. But like, and then, or Cholula, whatever it is. And then Cordoba does the same thing. So I think Moz is elite because they have like the bar with all the homemade salsas, and then they have the, you know, I could get a lime, whatever, you know, sprinkle some lime juice on the, and I just think that Moz, the ingredients taste pretty fresh. I've never tasted the ingredients and been like, man, these are just disgusting. I've never done that. Chipotle, I've done that once or twice. Usually Chipotle is pretty good, I will say. Usually they're pretty good with the ingredients, but a couple times I've been there, and it might just depend on the location. Maybe some Chipotles or Moz are better or worse, but Cordoba, and then I put Cordoba. I think Cordoba is very similar to Chipotle, where it doesn't do anything above and beyond like Moz does, but I feel like Cordoba has fresher ingredients. At least my Cordoba has fresher ingredients than my Chipotle. That could, of course, vary. You know, chain restaurants. That's how they are. Some of them are better than others, and usually it just depends on the management. Of course, that's what it always is. If one of these chains has good management, then that was my phone. Siri, you got to tell me when my exit is, bro. Come on, Siri, you're slacking here. I'll turn around in just a second. Let me wait for this other car to get around here. Oh, this guy's driving like 5 miles an hour. I could have done a UE by now. I didn't realize he was going so slow. But let me do a UE here. Here we go. Ooh, make sure that's not a ditch. Come on, Siri, you're supposed to be saying, hey, turn right and 1,000 feet. It's probably my fault. I probably had her turned down and was not paying attention. So I'll give Siri, or Alexa, wait, no, Siri. I'll give Siri a pass here. I think My Siri on my phone is turned off. I just turned it off. I don't even have it on. But it's the same voice though on like the Google or Apple. I like Apple Maps. Chat, what do you think? Apple or Google Maps? Or is there a different kind that I'm missing? But what do you guys think is better? Apple, Google Maps? I prefer Apple. I think Apple is much, much better. Now, Google Maps does a couple things pretty well. But I think Apple Maps are elite. We're going to have some lightning. We're going to see some lightning in the distance here. Probably to our north and probably once we get on the interstate, it'll be on the left side of the screen. We might see some, what is happening? There we go. We might see some lightning here. Probably about 50 miles from OKC here, so not too far from OKC. I don't know what was going on this interstate, but whenever I was on my way out here, there was my map said that there's traffic backed up for 55 minutes or something ridiculous, like 55 minutes worth of traffic out here by Weatherford. And I know there's some construction out here, but there's no way that's just the construction. Like, there must have been a crash. There must have been a big crash, and then, like, the construction probably made it a little bit more difficult. But a little bit less than 4 hours from home, so it's not a bad drive. It's pretty doable. I can easily do that. I've done much worse. You like app? Okay, James says Apple. Tessa says Google. You don't like? You don't like iPhone? I don't know. I've had an iPhone. I probably got my first phone when I was like 11 years old. So I've had a phone for probably half of my life now. So about 10 years. I had a phone for about half my life, 10 years, and I've only ever used an iPhone. So I'm used to an iPhone. So I'm sure if you're used to a Google Pixel or an Android or whatever, if you've been using it for all these years, I'm sure that's everyone just prefers what they've been using. But we'll see some lightning, I think, on this on the left side of the screen, maybe if these storms get going. But man, that storm near, guys, that storm that I didn't decide to go for is like dying. So that was a good choice. It was a good choice for me to not drive out of my way to go for that dying Supercell. But yeah, we got some stuff going up towards Marshall and Perry and Stillwater and Pawnee. We've got some stuff going there. We got some storms going. I don't, to be determined if they get organized. And that's probably going to be a big old MCS. I don't know if I have it in me to chase the MCS. I don't know if I have it in me, but I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. What do you got? You guys have any plans this weekend? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you guys have any plans for the weekend, or hey, it's summertime, and of course, kids are off school, and unfortunately, adults don't get to be off work unless they're a teacher. But is anyone doing anything crazy over summer? Anyone got any crazy plans or? Cannot believe it's already June. What is it? I don't even know what it is. Like June 13th? I don't even know. I've lost track of my days here. But I don't know how it's already the middle of June. Like time is just felt like it's like flying by. Chappy age is debatable. What are we talking about our age here? What? What's up, Julie? Welcome in here. Carmen. What? Love that I'm yelling at Siri as she tells me to turn around. Something's going on. Okay, it must be this side of the road. Something is going on. Something happened, and I can't figure out what happened because. Whoa! Is that a new crash? Oh gosh, that was horrible. I really hope those people made it out. That car was not doing good. I pray that those people made it out because I got a quick glimpse over there, and that's not a good situation. So I don't know what the heck happened, but this traffic was all backed up earlier today, and I don't know if it's because there's multiple crashes. I don't know if there's still from the one crash. I mean, there's no way this is still from one crash, right? You'd think they would have had it cleaned up at that point, right? But plan on going to Devil's Tower. Hey, that's awesome. Poker John, that's pretty sick. It's the 14th. Okay, I was one day off. It's not bad. But Devil's Tower, that's somewhere that I want to go. I'm sure with all the storm chasing I do, eventually I'll end up in that part of Wyoming. But Devil's Tower is a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool landmark. I gotta check a lot. There's a lot of stuff, that I still gotta see, and I'm hoping that I have a long, prosperous life and I get the chance to see a bunch of cool things. But I got a lot of stuff on the bucket list, and Devil's Tower is definitely one of them. I also, if we're talking Wyoming area, I guess Mount Rushmore's not far from that. That's in the far southwestern part of South Dakota. Isn't that near Rapid City out there? Mount Rushmore would be something. I think that's probably overrated. That's definitely overrated, but I feel like it'd still be kind of cool to go see. Of course, Yellowstone is another one. Obviously, Yellowstone and the Tetons. I'd love to go to the Tetons. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know about Yellowstone. I think Yellowstone would be amazing, but I hear that the crowd sizes at Yellowstone are pretty crazy. So I don't know about the crowd sizes there. Yeah, Yellowstone. I kind of would want to go to a park that's a little bit more secluded. Not like, obviously, if it's too secluded, then that means it's probably not as cool, right? Because people obviously want to go to the really cool ones, but cool and secluded. Roadster Jim says, Ben is incredible. He toured Joplin weeks after the big one. Yeah. I vaguely remember. I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old when the big one hit Joplin, so I was definitely old enough to remember it, of course, but 7 years old, you're at that age where you don't remember everything, obviously, and you don't have a full understanding of. You're only 7 years old, so you can't grasp at 7 years old. But I do remember, and me and my family, we narrowly escaped that tornado. I still do consider myself pretty lucky to be around still. was definitely a frightening experience. And like I said, I was 7 years old, so I really didn't have too much of a clue. Obviously now, I mean, I would be, I'd purposely be next to the tornado, but yeah, we'll see what this line, even if this line near OKC goes, I just don't know, guys. My head hurts. It's already late. My head hurts, and I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to reevaluate things in about half an hour when I start to get into OKC. How about the Thunder? How about the Thunder picking up Game 4 there? Series is all evened up. I think the Thunder, if I really had to predict, like if my life was on the line and I had to predict it, I think the Thunder take the series. I feel like the Thunder probably take the next 2 games and win in 6. I think the Thunder probably win it in 6. Well, I wouldn't rule out the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers, I don't think they win this. I don't know how they go into Game 5. I feel like for the Pacers to have a shot to really win it, I feel like they had to win that Game 4 last night. Like, that game last night, like, if you're the Pacers, you're up 6 or 7 points with 2. Like, you cannot blow that lead. Like, you cannot blow that lead. Like, that is your chance. Your chance is to go up 3-1. And then you get to, maybe even if you lose Game 5, you get to go back to Indiana for Game 6. Like, that is your chance. That is your chance right there if you're the Pacers. And you blew it. You blew your chance. So they could still, of course, they could still win. But I just think that, like, the odds are not in their favor. I just think that Oklahoma City's the better team. And when you're playing the better team like that, you gotta really squeak out a couple of lucky games. And I don't know. I think Oklahoma City probably cleans it up at 6, but I'd love to see the Pacers. I'd love to see the Pacers take it to 7. I'd love to see a Game 7. And I know hockey is going on right now too. You got the hockey. I don't know how many of you guys watch basketball or hockey, but you got the hockey final, the Stanley Cup. And I believe, what is it? Is the series tied 2-2, or is Florida up? But it's a rematch. And you know what? I don't watch hockey, but I have tuned into some hockey recently, and I will say it's very exciting. I love to watch it. I think it's a very captivating sport, for sure. Very captivating sport. I like hockey, so if I have any Canadians or Northerners in the chat here, you guys got a pretty cool sport. There's some faint lightning in the distance. I don't know if it's showing up through the phone or not, but good evening, Julie, Jim, and Deborah. How's it going? Coach, I couldn't be I actually could be a coach. It's not. I actually could coach. Like, if I really wanted to, if my life passion was to coach basketball or football, I could certainly do that. I think I have the skill. I'm not trying to be like arrogant, but I do think I have the skill, especially football. I know a little bit more about football than basketball. I'm not as knowledgeable in that. I played basketball, 6 or 7 years as a kid. And I still play basketball all the time for fun. Like, I always go play pickup at the gym. But, like, as far as like an organized team, I probably played 6 or 7 years of that. But football, I probably played on an organized football team for 10 years. So I watch football. I mean, if it's fall or winter and it's the weekend, I'm probably watching football. Saturdays, college, Sunday, NFL. If you guys ever want to talk football in the chat, I'm your guy. I love football. Even a little bit of basketball. I don't pay attention as much, but even a little bit of basketball, but mostly football. I could definitely coach football though, Jim. I think I could. I don't know what as far as like what position I think I could coach. I played on the defensive side of the ball but I actually think I could probably coach any position other than offensive and defensive line. I don't think I could coach at the line. I don't think I could coach the offensive line. I would have no idea what I'm talking about. I would have no idea what I'm talking about on the defensive line. But I think I'd have a shot at like DB or receiver. Or I think I could even coach quarterbacks. Even coach quarterbacks and running backs. I think I'd have a better shot at doing that than the D or the O-line. You're coaching me? I appreciate that. Who's my NFL team? I root for the Bengals. Of course, I'm from Missouri, so obviously the Chiefs are very good. But I don't root for the Chiefs. I don't know. I kind of, when I was a little kid, I was kind of a Chiefs fan, but I was never like, I was kind of lukewarm. I was never like a big fan. I was always lukewarm. And of course, they weren't winning Super Bowls. They were pretty good. I mean, they had Alex Smith. You know, definitely an underrated. I think people forget about how good Alex Smith was. He was never good enough to take a team over the top, but he was a solid player. But I would watch back when they had Alex Smith and Jamal Charles and Dwayne Bowe. You know, that team. Oh gosh, Tamba Hali, Justin Houston. I mean, those Chiefs teams were. Oh gosh, the safety. What was his name? Eric Berry. Yeah, those Chiefs teams were fun to watch. But I don't know. I've just never like gravitated towards Mahomes and Kelsey. I don't know why. I just don't really like. I think Mahomes is a good dude. I don't know. Kelsey kind of gives me bad vibes. I think Mahomes is a good, hardworking guy, and I think in a lot of ways Kelsey probably is too. But they just don't give me good vibes. And then I'm a big LSU Tiger fan, and you guys who watch the channel know that I'm a big LSU fan. So, you know, with the Bengals drafting Joe Burrow, #1, and then they drafted Jamar Chase the year after. And then I also think, you know, like the Bengals, I think they have some cool jerseys. Like I'm a big jersey guy. I like the jerseys, the Tiger stripes or the Bengal stripes, whatever, on the helmet are pretty cool. So I'm a fan of the Bengals. I like the jerseys. I'm a big Burrow guy. I really like Joe Burrow. So that's a lot of the reason why. So I kind of just became a fan of the Bengals, and then I've slowly. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan. I am not a diehard fan, but I'm slowly becoming one. I think if in about 5 or 10 years I might be a diehard Bengals fan, but I'm getting there. I'm grounded. What? Oh, Browns fan? Yeah, unfortunately the Browns don't win a lot, do they? If I was a Browns fan, I would be miserable, because I know they used to wear the paper bags, the grocery bags, like on their head. The Browns fans would have the bags on the head. And it's like they're protesting how bad the team was and the ownership was. But the Browns are pathetic, and they've had some great players over the years. I guess every team does, but you guys had Baker Mayfield. The Browns had Baker Mayfield. They had a good quarterback, and you got rid of it. For let's be honest, a guy who, I can't say this on the stream, but he definitely did some very bad things. And definitely probably sexually, abused, whatever. But that you got rid of Baker Mayfield for the guy who, did all that stuff and then tore his ACL. I thought Deshaun Watson was always an incredible player, but after that injury and after his court cases, whether he was guilty or not, I think here's the thing, if 26 or whatever, I don't know, 26, 28, however many it was, if 28 people come out and say you did something, and there's a good chance that you probably are guilty. So I don't know what the Browns were thinking when they gave the dude a $250 million guaranteed contract, and I mean that was just a disaster. So I feel bad for any Browns. I feel bad for the Browns fans out there for sure. You guys definitely have it pretty rough there. But you're a Patriots fan? Yeah, I mean, hey, like, I think if you're a Patriots fan and you have some bad seasons here, like, you're kind of like, you kind of deserve to have some bad years. I mean, you won six Super Bowls, for crying out loud. 6 Super Bowls. I feel like it's about time that you have some bad seasons, but I think the Patriots are going to be good again. Obviously you're never going to recreate what you had with Brady and Belichick. Like, that's never coming back. Like, let's be honest. But you're going to have a good team with Mike Vrabel as your coach. He's a great coach. Vrabel is a good coach, and Drake May, we'll see. He's unproven, but Drake May has all the talent. If Drake May works hard and ends up hitting his potential, he has all the talent in the world to be a top NFL quarterback. He's very talented. So, Patriots, that's a fun team. I've always liked the Patriots. I think they have cool colors. I like the red, white, and blue. I think those colors are nice. We got some lightning now over here on the left side of the screen here. Probably some Supercells firing up there. Drake May does have some potential. You're not wrong. UFC Trojan over here says Julie. NFL team is the New York Giants. Okay, the New York Football Giants. They've had some rough years as well. Both of the New York teams, especially at least the Giants can say that. Okay, the Giants can say that they won a couple of Super Bowls in like recent memory. The Jets, like, what have the Jets done in the last 20 years? Like, they might have had a couple of good teams, I'm sure, but overall the Jets have done nothing. The Giants have done nothing recently, but they're going to tank. And the Giants, I mean, they drafted Dart in the first round. They drafted a quarterback in the first round, and I don't think he's the answer for them. I don't think Jackson, he might be, but I think it's probably a 50-50 shot. When you draft a guy in the late first, you just never know. It's probably 50-50 hit rate. But I like their coach, but unfortunately their coach had to have Daniel Jones as quarterback. So I think Daniel Jones sets you guys back about half of a decade. So that's not good for the Giants. But USC is pretty good. Lincoln Riley, but I don't know if USC is ever going to be able to recapture what they had in the early 2000s and the 90s. But we'll see. I'm a football nerd. Yeah, you could probably tell I'm a football nerd. Yeah, I'm a big football nerd. I'd say if I had another passion outside of Storms, it's definitely sports, and particularly football. I love fantasy football. I do love fantasy football as well. I love all football, but especially fantasy football. I get really into that. It's fun. It's fun. You're playing against your friends. And a lot of time, there's a lot of money sometimes on the line too. But I don't promote gambling, but making some little bets with your buddies on fantasy football is one thing. It's a little different. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun, It's fun to see at the end of the year who, everybody has their bragging rights, If your team sucks and, your buddy, your rival is having a good fantasy team that year, then they will let you know about it. And I would do the same thing. If my buddy's team sucked, I'd let him know about it. The only thing that sucks about fantasy football is when you just draft an atrocious team, and by week 5, half of your team is, or maybe you drafted a good team, but you just got the injury bug, and you're sitting there, it's like week 5, week 6 of the NFL season, and half of your starters are hurt, whatever, and you're just sitting there, and you're like, okay, like, this isn't even fun anymore, like, you basically have to win out or something if you want to make the playoffs, and half your players are hurt, and then you get to look forward to next year, and then you realize next year is another 9 months away. So that's the worst feeling. But that's the one bad part about fantasy football, is when you get in that kind of situation. But yeah, fantasy football is a roller coaster. It is. It really is. I will say storm chasing is a little bit more of a roller coaster. Storm chasing gets pretty wild. Okay, we do have a line of supercells developing up towards Guthrie, and gosh, I don't know how much I want to actually chase these, but we'll see, guys. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just so tired. My stomach, I think I got some kind of little stomach bug thing. It's not bad, but like it's just makes me feel a little bit off. I might go chase. You know what? I might go chase these storms. I'm really not 100% sure. But the thing, you know, maybe these storms will be moving in on the way home. You know what? They actually might be kind of moving in on the way home a little bit. Well, they're moving pretty slow. Probably not. They're moving pretty slow there, so. They're moving pretty slow. I don't know. They're not going to really produce. They could produce a spin-up tornado, but nothing that's a real threat tornado-wise. I mean, you could have an isolated tornado in there, but nothing that I would be. If I'm going to chase at 11 or 12 a, or if I'm going to chase at 11 p.m., 12 a.m., there's got to be a pretty legit tornado threat for me to do it. These storms look kind of cool. I might just have to chase them. Here we go. We're in El Reno. I think this is El Reno, probably. Yeah, probably El Reno. This is where the biggest tornado on record ever world history, at least recorded history. I'm sure at some point there's a bigger one, but this recorded history, 2.6 miles wide, I believe, biggest tornado ever, went just to the north of, just to the south, just to the south of El Reno, Oklahoma. I may be back live tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And hopefully if I'm in the Ozarks, I can actually get an internet connection. But we'll see. Or am I hydrated enough? You know what? I'm probably not. I'm probably not hydrated enough. So part of it is probably my own problem that I feel a little bit meh. But I did just drink a big old bottle of water, 10 minutes. But of course, if you can't just drink a bottle of water or 2 bottles of water and get hydrated. It usually takes some time. But I'm okay. I'm decently hydrated. But am I as hydrated as I probably should be? Probably not. I should probably be a little more hydrated. It might help me out a little bit. But I think I'm also tired. And part of the headache is probably fatigue and tiredness. My ETA is already 3:45 in the morning. mornings. I mean, not 3:45. Sorry, 1:45. My ETA was 3:45. My ETA will be 3:45 if I end up chasing these storms. It will be 3:45. You know, they're honestly, these storms are probably elevated, guys. So the temperature and the dew point are very close. Your temperature is probably 78, 79. Your dew point's probably 74, 75. So anytime your temperature is a dew point, anytime your temperature and dew point is really, really close together, especially at nighttime, you get a layer of warm air called the cap, and that cap usually makes your storms a little bit elevated. I can see I can literally see the supercell structure right now. I can literally see the supercell structure, but it looks a little bit more like they're kind of elevated supercells. So, I mean, you know, if I was going to stay around Oklahoma City tonight, I think I probably would have to chase them. But since I'm going to go back home, I think it's probably in my best interest to drive for another 10-15 minutes, and then we'll shut down the stream on the west side of Oklahoma City. But I'm getting pretty tired here, guys. So chat, I'm getting sleepy, chat. I don't want to fall asleep on the job here. What's up? What's up, James? We got 2 Jameses in here. Sky Stars, what's up? Thank you for being a member. You're invincible. Awesome. See you later. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good rest of your weekend there. Appreciate you guys all tuning in here. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to me to have you guys tuned into the stream. We had a pretty good storm there for quite a while. We had a good solid stream going. I lost my internet connection at a couple, bad moments, but appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. We honestly have a pretty solid line of storms getting going. They're probably barely severe. I mean, they probably have 50. I mean, they're warned for 60 mile an hour wind and ping pong, but I bet they have maybe quarter-sized hail and maybe 50, 60 mile an hour wind. They're probably barely severe level, but they are severe probably. I'm a little bit worried about the flash flood risk if we get some of these storms to train on top of each other. I think that flash flooding risk is a little bit worrisome, but it shouldn't be anything crazy. Shouldn't be anything crazy there. If you're just new to the stream, make sure to smash that like button for me, and we're almost to 800. I think we said we wanted to get to 8. Guys, I'm not going to end the stream until I get to 800 likes. So I'm sure most of you guys in here are probably like the stream. I think we can get to 800. I think that's realistic. Hey, and we're almost to 8,000. We're almost to 800 likes. We're almost to 8,000 subs. We're sitting at 7,850 subs here on the channel. We're almost to 8,000. I think we're going to hit that 10,000 milestone pretty soon here. Pretty soon we ought to hit that 10,000 milestone. My goal is to hit it by the end of the month. and depending on how good the storms are, that could be very realistic, or it could be a lot. If the storms are really good, we could hit even much higher than that. But if the storms suck, then maybe it's a long shot. But I'd love to hit 10K by the end of June, so we have about 2 weeks. We should have plenty of chases to do it, so we'll have a lot of chases to do it. Oh, here we go. We're almost there. We got 13 more likes here. Appreciate everybody in here. Being able to stream for you guys and share my passion and keep you guys updated on the weather, it makes my whole day. I love doing it. So I need to get my home internet figured out so I can get those overlays back onto the stream, because that honestly makes it much better. It makes it much more watchable. So I gotta get those back on the stream. If we don't hit 800 likes this second, we'll definitely probably hit it on whenever. We'll hit it later on, at least after live ends. Surely. These storms will move into the OKC metro. They might kind of graze the eastern side of the metro. We'll have to see. Right now, it looks like they probably will kind of graze the eastern side of the metro. But if you have more development on the western side of that complex, then you could easily be talking about stuff going right through Oklahoma City as well. It's been a very active storm season for this area. There hasn't been there's been a couple tornadoes around here, but nothing like crazy. But I'd say just storm season, like severe weather, flooding, all the above. It's been very active around this area, and this week has been no different. You might get some development on the backside of these storms. In Oklahoma City, you might get into some of that action. So, but here in this next exit up here, somewhere up here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off here, and we'll get the stream wrapped. We'll get the stream wrapped up here. Every time I drive through Oklahoma City, I feel like all the gas stations battle it out with each other. Like, you have so many gas stations here, and a lot of them are also I think are headquartered in Oklahoma. I know Quick Trip and Love's are headquartered. So you got probably the two of the best gas stations in existence, Quick Trip and Love's. Just elite gas stations, especially Love's. Quick Trip's pretty good, but I think Love's is a little better. But you got those two, and then you have Casey's, which obviously is not headquartered here, but Casey's has really taken a big market share here as well. And then you have On Q, which I see quite a bit of On Q, and then Allsups. I don't see a ton of Allsups, but they've made their way into Oklahoma. You got Allsups. Oklahoma's the ultimate. It's where the gas stations, they all battle it out. I feel like everywhere kind of has their regional gas station chain, but Oklahoma's in the middle, so it kind of has 5 different chains that are pretty popular around here. But I'm just gonna pull into one of these parking lots here and shut things down. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in as much as I'd love to keep chasing those new developing storms, I'm just a little tired and it's late. And if I want to storm chase tomorrow, I think it'd be smart to just head home. But like I said, tomorrow's probably 50-50 shot. But so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Anybody want to let me know anything in the chat or say anything? Speak now or forever hold your peace until probably there's a stream like tomorrow, but forever hold your peace until tomorrow. But no, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and it seems like we got a brief tornado right off the rip. Right off the rip, we got a brief tornado. It's crazy that storm produced a tornado so quickly, and then it could never do it again. But had that quick little needle. And I couldn't quite get it done after that one. But almost to 800 likes. We'll hit it in just a minute, but make sure to like the stream. Sub to the channel, of course. And on that note, we will get out of here. You can see some of the lightning there in the distance. But yeah, on that note, get out of there. If you guys want to become a member, it costs less than a soft drink per month. But yeah, so I'll let you guys know. I'll post something on YouTube. Follow my Twitter. Oh, one more thing. Follow my Twitter, Instagram. It's the same handle as my YouTube. I post storm chasing updates there, especially Twitter. So follow those, and I will see you guys next time.